All right, I'm not waiting on Sal. He'll get here when he gets here. Welcome to Cornfed. We got to get back to basics. Back on the rails. Back to business. This is the show. I'm the star of this show. This is Cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. I'm Dalton Pruitt. I don't need no Sal. I do wish Sal was here. I don't know where he is, but I'm not gonna keep waiting on him to get here. So, welcome to the show, everybody. I miss my co-host Sal so much, but it's me. I can carry this myself. How y'all doing? Welcome. Well, it's the Chinese century is upon us. It's the word on everybody's minds. Tariffs. What are they? What do they do? What's gonna happen? These are questions I've been asking because I do not know. I don't know I don't know what a tariff is, or nor what it does or what it's supposed to do. But I do know. I know that there's a guy on Twitter. Forgive me, X, formerly Twitter, by the name of Walter Bloomberg, who everybody thought was just like a Bloomberg, like the like Bloomberg, like a Bloomberg, like the Bloomberg, the terminal, the stock, the finance thing. There's like a channel, it's like a TV channel, and then it's like a important finance thing, something to do with Bloomberg. Anyway, a guy by the name of Bloomberg tweeted something, and then everybody pulled there was like a market crash, or no, the market was the stock market was, what happened? So does anybody know what happened actually? Because I don't really know what I'm talking about. So the tariffs, our president, our benevolent leader, President Donald Jeremiah Trump, announced that there's tariffs, and then the stock market, which I don't know what that is or what that does really. I've put a lot of money into it, and I still don't really understand it. So, I'm pretty much I myself am a motley fool. I've been to that website, and so like all the stocks, the market was tanking. It was nosediving, and then like a guy by the name of Walter Bloomberg tweeted something that I guess everybody thought his name was Bloomberg, that he was like an actual Bloomberg. I guess they thought he was the Bloomberg terminal. And it was like good. He tweeted something that sounded like it might be positive. So then the market started to jump back up. But then everybody realized this was just some guy whose name happened to be Bloomberg. And so then the market crashed again. And so it just kind of, I guess, like really what happened is it kind of revealed that the entire, like what I've been told my whole life is the thing that runs the money for all of us, that like determines like if we're going to be able to like pay our mortgages and buy groceries, like this idea of the stock market is pretty much just made up. It's all not real, and it can fluctuate on the whims of a guy who happens to have the same last name as the cable business channel. So maybe what we're finding out, um, maybe what we're finding out is that maybe our entire all of our financials, the whole thing is not. Which maybe we always instinctively understood this, that it's not exactly real, but it's a symbolic of the. Ideally, it's supposed to be symbolic of the value that we produce, like money and stuff. So it's like, yeah, you could be I'm sure most people have probably had the very like high school stoner thought before, where you start to think about money in a philosophical ass way, and you start saying, well, shit, man, like it's all just like pieces of paper and numbers in a computer. It's not real. But you know, because I remember having that thought in high school, and then my dad, I expressed that sentiment to my dad, and he screamed at me at the time. He got very, very upset that I would even say such a thing. And I didn't really understand what he was mad about. I was just like, well, I mean, yeah, like if you open your wallet, the money that's in there is just kind of like paper. And he said, no, son, it's actually a blend of paper and cotton that is hard to replicate and counterfeit. And I said, okay, well, whatever it is, it doesn't seem like it holds any real intrinsic value. And he got very upset about that and explained to me that he said, well, he didn't really explain anything to me. He said, well, all right, well, you try fucking eating without it. And I was like, I do. I'm 13, so I don't have a job. But I guess I understand what he was trying to say. So it's like, I guess like given that it does kind of like money, even when it's real, kind of exists in the abstract, like even more tangible modes of finance. That's a good point, Token Tony. I should have said to him, please don't be mean to me, Dad. I'm just having thoughts. I'm just thinking about the world and trying to figure it out, same as anybody. But the South tends to want to squash that desire in you. The South does not reward curiosity. You start having thoughts like that, you get screamed at, and and then your grandma tells you. Your grandma says, "Go get the switch." You're thinking again. Go get the switch, and then you get whipped for having thoughts. Thank you for the $2, Sean from Pittsburgh. Shout out all the dogs. Yeah, shout out. Kenny wants to know where Sal is. It's a solo show now, I guess. I don't know. I've been in communication with Sal, and we were supposed to do this. We don't have like a set schedule, but we try to plan the show and get a show going. We were supposed to do this Sunday, and then that didn't align. And then yesterday was Monday, and to be honest with you, we both just decided we were too tired because I worked all day, and I was just exhausted. You'll have to forgive me. I know how that sounds. I think I've talked about my money job that I do at the dick sucking quarry before, but yeah, I know that like the job that I do during the day doesn't sound like it would be taxing in any sort of physical way where it would make me tired. It's just sitting in a chair and answering phone calls. And I thought the same thing. I was like, I always dream when I used to work like physical jobs, like when I was loading bags of concrete in the back of trucks at the Home Depot. I dreamed of a job where I get to sit in a chair. And then now I have at home even. And now I have one. And somebody says I have KFC sauce on my. No, it's not KFC sauce. It's sandwich juice. I ate Jimmy John's earlier. That's sandwich juice. But yeah, so yeah, I used to work. I worked the register at Home Depot, and really what that entailed was just like a bunch of fucking just dickhead like guys in their 50s and 60s who seemed like physically sound that would ask an associate to load up 50, 80-pound bags of concrete onto one of them orange pallets. That's like not a shopping cart, but that they got at the Home Depot. That's like a big flat thing on wheels. They would get someone to put those bags on the pallet and then wheel it to the register. And then I would ring up all the bags, and then they would say, I need someone to come and put these in my truck for me. And so then I would push a button that was supposed to like sound some alarm on all the walkie-talkies everybody wore that we needed the people who that's their job to come to the register and take that pallet out to that guy's Dodge and start putting them bags of concrete in the bed of his truck. When nobody shows up, we're standing there, it's been 10, 15 minutes. Now I'm getting screamed at by some fucking dickhead in a knee brace. And I'm just like, I'll do it. Just hold on. And then I wave down my assistant manager and I go, watch the register. This fucking lazy jackass can't put his own fucking bags of concrete in his truck. So I gotta go out, I gotta wheel this out there and load up all this concrete for this guy. And so then I take so I grab the pallet and I start following him to his truck. I lead the way, sir. And he takes me to an $80,000 Dodge Ram in the parking lot. One with the Cummins engine, the Dodge Cummins. Just a big grotesque monstrosity of it. You know the way they make trucks now, where it's like the trucks are big as shit, but they don't fucking, they're not even that good anymore. Because there's like all these I forget. There's like these emission standards with trucks where it's like the truck has to be a certain size versus the emissions. And so the workaround is just make the chassis of the truck big as fuck, but don't change any of the innards of the truck. And now we are as a truck company now abiding by the emission standards and can now sell this abomination of a fucking vehicle. And so that's why all the trucks are just gigantic now, but they're made out of like aluminum. Like these giant fucking chassis are not like well constructed bodies. It's just big as fuck. Like these like 21st century Dodge Rams and Chevys and what's the current shit? I guess they still do the Silverado, Ford F-150, all these fucking things. They ain't as tough as like an 80s, like a 19. My dad had when I was a kid, he bought a blue single cab Toyota pickup truck for like $400. And I would put that truck up against any of these $80,000 trucks that these guys got parked out front of the Home Depot. That was a beautiful, wonderful truck that we used to go riding around in. And then I don't know why he sold it. I would not have. That was a really good truck for $400. You used to be able to buy a truck for $400. And then I think I touched on this before, the Cash for Clunkers conspiracy that like the Obama car thing, Cash for Clunkers, somehow, I haven't read into this, decimated the used car market in some way where now you can't, like a used vehicle is still, like you just can't afford cars anymore, I guess. I gotta, if anyone knows what I'm talking about, this was like something I parsed through one day and didn't really read too much into. But there's like, it used to be you could get a car that you could rely on for like a few hundred, maybe $1,000. Like a years old used vehicle. And then there was that Cash for Clunkers program, and then somehow that did something to the used car market where like now even a used vehicle costs like thousands of dollars. And so now you can't, like back in the 90s, when my dad was able to buy a Toyota pickup for like $400, the best you could do now is like, the furthest back you're going to be able to go is like a few years, and it's going to cost you still thousands of dollars, and it's not going to be as good as that pickup truck we had in the 90s. But yes, I worked at Home Depot, and I'm wheeling the 80-pound bags of concrete out to the Dodge Cummins Ram. And then it's just it's some guy, it's just like a homeowner, the worst kind of person there is, a homeowner. The most despicable, vile creatures on this planet, homeowners. That's all that's at Home Depot, is got 40, 50, 60-year-old homeowners trying to do their weekend projects, and then they want all the workers at the Home Depot to kowtow to them and bow down and kiss the rings on their hands and wait on them hand and foot so that they can get the supplies they need to go fuck up some DIY project before they hire a professional to do it. So it's like they demand that like all these people making fucking $8 an hour wait on, do everything for them while they're at the Home Depot. Like they walk in and it's supposed to be, just total subservience because I'm a homeowner. So this is the Home Depot. I own a home. I'm at the depot for such. Go get me my concrete. And so now I got to wheel this concrete after this guy. And he's not making any pleasant talk with me or nothing. He just says, here's the truck. And then he opens the tailgate and he goes, okay, go. And then I got to look. Now it's like, this guy's getting like fucking 50 bags of 80 pound bags of concrete. He's got 50 of them. And I'm just like, I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm bending down, lifting with my knees one at a time, and lugging these things in the back of this truck. And it's killing me. I do not like moving. I don't like doing things that get my blood pumping or push any sort of acids through my muscles. I don't like working out. I don't like doing things that are good for me or that will enhance my anatomy in any way. So this sucks. All this physical labor, and I remember I just dreamed at that time. I just dreamed of a day that I could get a job where I'd be able to sit in a chair all day, and so I wouldn't have to exhaust myself for $8 an hour loading up bags of concrete for these abhorrent homeowners. And I do need to actually I should work out. I should be physical. It's just I've never enjoyed it. And I've gotten close. I know that like there's been times when I have been with some routine, some regularity physical, and gotten close to like that feeling of I don't know, transcendence, where I like go from hating it to kind of enjoying it. But then just the fat, lazy part of me, it just always wins. And so now I gotta like try and figure that out again. But, so what I'm getting at though is that, I do now have the way I make my living. It can all be done sitting in a chair in a nice air conditioned room. But I ironically or unexpectedly, I suppose, it is still it can still be exhausting. It can still be taxing, just in a different way. Because it's like, this I enjoy. I like doing this, and this doesn't really. This is fun and engaging, and it forces me to think and try and think of things to say. It really gets the creative juices flowing, I guess. But then, like, I'll be honest with you, I'm not like a whirlwind success in podcasting and entertainment, so I do still have a W-2 job. This is the 1099s. I'll show you the 1099s. This is a 1099 job, but then I have a W-2 job during the day where I just, for 8 hours a day, which is some bullshit because it's not 8 hours. The Dolly Parton has that song, 9 to 5, right? That's the trope in America. The sentiment is like the 9 to 5 worker. No, at no time in my life has there ever been such a thing as a 9 to 5. They express it as such. They call like day jobs and working jobs and office jobs 9 to 5. I've never had the luxury of a 9 to 5. If it is a job that starts at 9 in the morning, it's 9 to 6 with an hour unpaid lunch. So it's actually 9 hours that I have to kind of be at work, but then an hour of which I have to clock out for lunch. So I'm scheduled to technically work for 8 hours, but I'm like basically there for 9. I've never experienced anything as nice as an actual 9 to 5 job, an 8-hour shift. It's always some bullshit where it's a fucking 9-hour shift in just an hour of which they make me clock out for lunch. It's like, man, you're paying me fucking $14 an hour. You can't break off a 14 for lunch. I gotta clock out. I gotta clock out. So because you don't want to pay me to go eat Subway. All right, fine. I guess I have to. I don't have any other options. I need the job, but this is not what the Dolly Parton song said. It's 9 to 5, not 9 to 6. How would that even go? Working 9 to 6. Yeah, I don't even know, dude. Doesn't even fit. We're at 9 to 6. Pickup sticks. Kenny T, $4.99, $45.99. All I've been thinking about is common side effects and economic collapse. Yeah, that's kind of what I've been thinking about a lot lately. That show really. Maybe I'm just stupid and I have a low threshold now for what I consider to be like profound or allowed to affect me. But a cartoon on Adult Swim has kind of like got me, all existential. And then, and then I guess there is economic collapse upon us. It looks like we're beginning we might be headed to the beginning of the Chinese century. I keep hearing that it's like China has beaten us economically, and we don't know it because of like media, just the sort of way our media or our perception of the world is walled off by I guess by like the information that's available to us or like the way the narrative is presented that we just have not realized or we have no perception of how much better China is doing economically. And then just every now and then something happens. Like most recently, the big one is this this black fellow. He's a black guy. I Show Speed is doing. I don't know what he's doing. I don't really know. I don't really understand like what he does. I don't know like what's going on. But he's a black guy in China, and he's just on like Chinese adventures, I guess. Like he's just like hip hopping around the different villages and cities in China, and and he's just like documenting the whole thing. He's videoing it the whole time, and oh, nice! Thank you for the $20, Robbie's third cousin. Sunglasses, smiley face. Sunglasses, smiley face to you, sir. Thank you. But Speed is in China, and like everything we're seeing from his like streams in China is just like everybody's waking up and realizing, damn, China looks awesome. Like they got so much, they got like so much more cool shit there. Like they've got something going on that we ain't. Like we haven't figured this out. Like we don't even realize. I've always wondered about that. Like you hear these stories about like the DPRK, the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, otherwise known as North Korea, that they are like completely isolated and closed off, so that they don't even know like how bad they have it. Like they just live in like the walls inside North Korea, and to them it's like, well, this is just like the best things can be, while our leader works to make us like a glorious republic, and then they don't even realize that like right outside those walls is South Korea, where they got like Samsungs. Like they don't even realize how bad they got it, and then let alone if they ever saw like what like a Walmart looks like here, they would weep, they would fall to their knees at as the illusion of their lives is shattered by an American Walmart. and so it's like sometimes I wonder about that here. Like, what are we not what are we not aware of? Like, because here in America, we definitely are propagandized and indoctrinated. And even though it's like we have the internet and we get to talk to all these people and interact with so much of the world now, it still is like um, manipulated in some way, right? So it's like we don't exactly have any perception of like what other countries are doing or how well off they are. And then it's like just one day you see a video of like what it looks like in Chongqing, China, whatever that province is, and then it just kind of like it's almost like the M Night Shyamalan, The Village, where you just go, oh, the my entire life is artifice that's being maintained by um the people in charge for the reasons of subjugation to keep me complacent and to keep the populace following orders and doing all the things they're told to do and believing that this is the great that that this is the best that this is the greatest that's ever been for anybody is our lives here. And then it's like, I don't know, man, they got they got like cool buildings. They got buildings with LED displays on them in China. We don't have our buildings here just look like banks now and like government like DMVs and shit. The McDonald's used to be fun. Now it just looks like a bank. The Taco Bell looks like a bank. The Wendy's, they all just look they're all just brutalist you know minimal structures now. Just like square blocks in the middle of a parking lot that have burgers inside of them. And they really did, when you look at like what a McDonald's looks like now, it's like they really did pave paradise and put up a parking lot on that one. I will move to well I don't need well that's I guess that's what I'm getting at. Show me the 1099s. I don't need to move to China. We're just going to become Chinese. So it's like China. I saw a video of Richard Wolff explaining that China has won economically, and like America, like we don't even realize how much we've lost economically. And so basically, the Chinese century is upon us. And so it's like you don't need to move to China. We're just gonna become Chinese. and and so I did. Yeah, I'm sorry to go pee pee in all y'all's cokes right now, but get ready to just be Chinese. This will be the United States of China, and no outside food or drink allowed. Uh, and then you'll always be hungry 30 minutes later. Yeah, this is a very good point, Raphael. We didn't move to China. China moved to us. And that's me, Dalton G. Dalton G said that. Chinese food is awesome. It's much better. I would say of the Asian foods, it's definitely better than Japanese. I'll say that for sure. Like I've gone to plenty of Japanese and Chinese restaurants, and I find Japanese food to leave me wanting, well, wonton. That it's like, yeah, it's not Japanese food is not as flavorful and it's not as there's not as much. They don't give you as much. It's just a lot of fucking sushi and like little pieces of steak and yeah, I don't know. I just find it kind of underwhelming. Chinese food is just like a big ass bowl of noodles bursting with flavor. Just they don't shy away from the MSG and what is Szechuan and spices and all that. Um, and then and hold on, and now I am so far I'm just talking Chinese versus Japanese. Kenny but this is a good point from Kenny. Thai food is better than both of those for sure. Yes, Thai food is better than Chinese and Japanese. Um, Thai, yeah, Thai, like a pad Thai or a pad CU, some drunken noodles. Yeah, that's all, and then all the curry dishes. That's all much better than the further you get into the jungle, the better the food is. So I would say, yeah, Thai and Malaysian. A lot of folks don't know about Malaysian. A lot of people have not discovered mee goreng yet. You can actually buy it. You could buy like a similar to like instant ramen, like ramen noodle bags. If you go on Amazon and just type in mee goreng, M-I space GORENG, you could buy bags of mee goreng. It's not as simple to prepare as ramen. You can't just like put it in a bowl and add water and microwave it. You do have to like boil the noodles and then strain the water out and then stir fry the noodles with the sauce packet. So it takes like 5 minutes instead of 3 minutes. But if you can find like an actual Malaysian restaurant, that's probably the best way to try it. The mee goreng is like a really tasty Malaysian noodle dish that I guess there's just not as much demand for it in the States, so it's hard to find a Malaysian restaurant. But if you're ever fortunate enough to come upon one, go in there and get you a big old plate of mee goreng. And then you got Korean barbecue is awesome. You got beef bulgogi, pork bulgogi. My favorite is the spicy pork bulgogi. Sometimes I'll get that stone pot bibimbap, but that's like mostly rice. So I try to get I try to stick with I usually get the bulgogi, or if it's an all you can eat place, I'll just get like everything and then undercook it because I don't know what I'm doing. But they're making me cook it myself, so I just like point at a bunch of things on the menu, and then they bring me a bunch of raw meat, and it's like raw meat that's covered in their like sauces and marinades and shit. So it just all looks orange. Like they just bring me a bunch of orange raw meat, so I can't tell like how cooked it. Like I can't like if I throw down a piece of flank steak on a skillet, I can see it go from like turn from pink to brown. Uh, and then I go, oh, it's done. Like I know I've cooked it based on the color. But then I go to one of these fucking Korean barbecue places that has that grill in the center of the table, and then they just bring me a fucking all these trays of just like raw meat that's just like covered in some kind of glaze, so it just all looks orange, and then I throw it down on this grill, and I'm like, I don't fuck it. I can't tell. It's still the same color. I don't know how cooked it is. And I don't want to overcook it because I guess I'd rather just get like ringworms or whatever parasites from undercooked meat than run the risk of eating over than overcooking it. Because I certainly don't want to have to eat a well done pork belly. So I'd rather just eat it undercooked and get sick than have to suffer through well done pork belly. And so, but that's good. That's the Korean food's good. I would, I get, it's just, the tricky thing about when you go eat Korean is like you have two options. You could go to a Korean restaurant where they cook it all for you. And it's like, and if it's a Korean barbecue place, usually what they have is like big ass fucking dishes that are meant to be shared, that like the whole table shares, and it's like $200 for like one menu item. Like you'll say, I want the number one, and that's just like 5 pounds of beef or like whatever it comes with. It's just a whole mess of meat and shit that they prepare, and then they bring you out all these platters, and it's to be shared with like everyone at the table shares it. So that's like your so first off, like to go to a place like that, it requires you have to have friends or family, and you have to have some money because it's like a $200 plate of food. So that's one option. The second option is like all you can eat, where it's like they say, okay, so it's $50 per plate per person. It's the places I've been to is anywhere from 40 to $50, right? But it's all you can eat. So you fill out a thing and hand it to the lady with the oily face who's wearing a mask, and then she goes back to the kitchen and comes back with a big trays of raw pork belly and bulgogi, and they even have like Korean chitlins you can order. I would not recommend that. Not even the Koreans can make the chitlins taste good. But you can get the pig intestine if you want. But they just bring out all this raw fucking food, and then you got to cook it at the table. And I never know what I'm doing. Um, but you know what's good about both options is prior to getting all your meat, they do bring out like a whole mess of just like Korean tapas, like Korean palate teasers. I don't know what they call it, but they bring in all the bowls of like fucking. They got kimchi and cucumber kimchi and fish cakes and bean sprouts and seaweed salad and some kind of potato thing that's really good. It's not a sweet potato. It's like a potato that they've made sweet, which is different than like an actual sweet potato. They get all the little bowls of that shit, and then you get to eat all that as you decide on like while you're waiting on your like all your meat to get there. And so it's like you can't have any you know it's kind of different because you can't have any meat until you've had your kimchi. How are you gonna have any meat until you've eaten your kimchi? It's sort of like a Pink Floyd kind of thing. Um, oh, here we go. $4.99 from Kenny T. Make a grilled cheese with ground beef, bulgogi, kimchi, and American cheese. See, now this is what we're talking about. This is the spirit of the Chinese century. Now I know he's talking about Korean, but like the fusion of American and Oriental in that way is that is the sort of what we're welcoming in the coming Chinese century. That we're gonna do Szechuan grilled cheeses, bulgogi grilled cheese. We're gonna do we're gonna combine. We're gonna have Red Robin is gonna bring back the ramen hamburger, which to this day is my favorite hamburger I've ever eaten, and I still mourn the ending of the ramen burger at Red Robin. It was a limited time burger they had. You know what you all know about Red Robin? Yum. It's a Red Robin is like a if you don't know, if you live in like a city or anywhere that just doesn't have a Red Robin, I feel like a Red Robin is like there's I don't know like where all y'all live. I know like one of y'all's in Brazil, and then some people live in places like where I grew up. Some of y'all are city folk, but there's like all these places throughout the country that's like where people live is just like these subdivisions off the highway, or maybe they even live like further out in the country, and then everything exists kind of as like branches off of the highway. So it's like your life is nothing but like department stores and chain restaurants. And so there's like very few actual like small business restaurants you go to. Like most of like when I was growing up, like going out to eat was like picking a chain to go eat at. It was like, well, there's Olive Garden or there's Red Lobster, there's Outback. It's like those are that's like night that's like nightlife growing up, right? Like in the kind of place I grew up is just like it's all like subdivisions, and then the only places to go to are just like big department stores, Sam's Club, Costco, and then chain restaurants. And so I remember, and so there's one of the big chains, burger chains, because everybody knows about Chili's, everybody knows about Applebee's, but there's a burger chain called Red Robin. The commercials say Red Robin, yum, that I'm very familiar with. I don't know how, I'm just explaining it for those who might not know. And it's a burger restaurant that makes really good. They do actually make good burgers, and really the sort of piece de resistance at Red Robin is two things. It's all their like specialty limited time burgers, which that's a rotation. You never know like what's going to be available there. But then a mainstay of the Red Robin is bottomless French fries. Well, bottomless fries. I think there's. I mean, yeah, it's technically a French fry, but I think it's more of like a steak fry. It's like a thicker. It's not a julienne, that's for sure, but it's not a crinkle cut. I don't think it's just like a thicker, kind of like a steak cut. It's bottomless though. It's as many fries as you can stomach. You just keep them coming. Bottomless French fries, and then they also have this is like really disgusting. And I've done this at a couple Red Robin outings. Bottomless root beer floats. So you can go to Red Robin and just drink like 8 root beer floats if you want for like $5. And so, but many years ago, they gave us a preview of the coming globalization of the world in the Chinese century, which we now find ourselves standing on the precipice. They had a ramen hamburger, which was like, yeah, it was like a third pound or a half pound of hamburger meat. It's a big ass burger, but it was like an Asian fusion hamburger where it had like all the fucking like pickled like daikon and pickled carrot, like all the pickled shit that you get at like an Asian place, and then some kind of like fucking teriyaki glaze. I don't know. It was just all like Asian kind of sauces and seasonings, right? But then the buns were like, I don't know how they did this. The buns, it was like when you open a bag of ramen and it's just like that round sort of like a plate of ramen noodles, like that thick round thing of ramen that's like dried and packed together. They kept it that way. Like it was just the round thing of the round brick of ramen from the bag, but they had like somehow they had cooked it where it served as the bun for the burger, where it was like kind of like crispy on the outside, like it was almost like lightly fried, but then when you bit into it, the like noodles themselves had the consistency of like boiled noodles, like cooked ramen. And so that was like the two buns was like two of those like ramen discs, those thick ramen discs, and then it was just like a bunch of like Asian sauces on top of the meat with like pickled radish and shit. It was a truly gourmet, spectacular, decadent hamburger. I really loved it, and it kind of opened my eyes to the possibilities of what we can achieve in the coming Chinese century. I just didn't know it at the time because this was probably over a decade ago. But that is to this day, I would say probably the best hamburger I've ever had. Aside from just like if I cook burgers, honestly, I feel like it's difficult to mess up a burger if you know what you're doing. I feel like a burger should be. I feel like I'm not that good at cooking. I'd say, like, I don't know. I don't possess like a lot of cooking skills necessarily, but I do understand like some basics, and I feel like everybody should at least be able to know how to cook a burger because you don't have to grill it. In fact, I don't particularly enjoy grilling meats that much because I think grilling can kind of dry out meat. What I prefer when I do cook meats, is like a skillet or a griddle. And I'll tell you, I didn't even get the when I make a burger, I enjoy making burgers for myself. I think those are the burgers I make. I do find tastier than like most restaurants. And I didn't even get this recipe from like a cookbook or even a cooking show. I just watched that movie, The Menu, and then that scene where Ray Fiennes cooks a burger. I was like, well, that looks like a really simple recipe. I could probably like do that in real life. And then I did that, And it's probably the best. It's probably the tastiest burger I've ever made for myself. Where it's just like you just cook the meat with some onions, a little salt and pepper, and then American cheese on. Melt a little American cheese on it, and then that's it. And yeah, Robbie's right. The menu is based on my favorite book. But anyway, so I saw that movie and then I just like started cooking burgers that way, and it's like, uh, that is a good. It's a tasty burger, you know. And I kind of like the minimalism of it. I like it when like food. I've been talking about food for a while now. What? How did I even get on? How did I get on all this? Where is Sal? He ghosted me. I don't know. He's gonna miss out. He's not. I tell you what, that motherfucker asked me to send him podcast money the other day, and I sent it to him. We're gonna have to have a real fucking discussion, Sal and I, about this podcast money. Because if he's not gonna show up for the show, say bye bye to the podcast money, Sal. I'm keeping all $100. um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, burger. Simple foods. Yeah. So yeah, just like a Ray Kroc had the right idea. Also, the Michael Keaton, the founder, just keep the burger as simple as possible. Just like meat and cheese, onion, pickles, ketchup, mustard. That was the original McDonald's burger, and that was why he flipped shit that one scene in the movie when he saw that guy eating a McDonald's burger that had lettuce and tomato on it. He said, "We don't put fucking lettuce and tomato on the burger at McDonald's." Um, and so I don't even, and nowadays I don't even do all that. I don't even do the ketchup and mustard and all that. Thank you, Michael. Yes, thank you. $20 from Michael. Don't give any of this to Sal. Sal's not seen a fucking dime of this. I've been podcasting by myself now for 47 minutes. Yeah, and look, I would have liked Sal to be here. I would like to bounce some ideas off of him and riff bits and laugh with my friend Sal. But you think he could podcast by himself for 47 minutes? He probably could. That probably would be very entertaining, to be honest. It would be a completely different kind of performance than what I do, and it probably would be very fun to watch him. To see what he pulls out of the air himself. So Sal is a very funny guy. I don't know what he's doing, but I'll tell you one thing, he's not gonna see a fucking dime of this podcast money. In fact, that will be his penance. Is he is going to have to the next one of these solo Sal. It's gonna be solo Sal next time, and I will be making. And I'm not gonna pop in and save him. We're gonna watch him flounder. Flounder's good too. I remember one time when I was a kid, my parents took me to this. We were living in like the North Carolina area at the time. I think we went to this town. Fuck, it was some. I'm trying to remember the town. I want to say it was. Yeah, It was a town called Boone, North Carolina, and we went to some restaurant. I can't. I was so young. I can't remember. $5 from Show Me the 1099s. Just have Sal eat one meal a day live on the channel. That would probably make us more money than anything we've tried. What was I saying? Oh, yeah, Sal's gonna flounder. Yeah, when I was a kid, I was really young, so I can't remember the name. This restaurant probably might be closed by now, but we went to this. We were on like some kind of family vacation, and we were living in like somewhere near Raleigh, Durham. We weren't in the city, but we were living in like some small town. The next closest city was like Raleigh. And then we went to one summer. We went to this town called Boone, North Carolina, and went to a restaurant there that was like a nice little seafood place. And I ordered a stuffed flounder. I guess I had pretty classy taste as a boy, and I get one of the And it wasn't, we weren't like, we were never rich. We were never like, never had like a ton of money. But I guess, because it was a single income household. My dad was a prison guard. But I guess like being a single kid and only, an only child. I also was single, but I was also an only child. I didn't have any siblings. I have a half brother, but he didn't like we didn't grow up. He didn't live with us. We didn't grow up together, and he's like 10 years older than me. So it's like this is my he's estranged. Like we're basically I don't even know him. Um, but when I was a single kid, we were at this restaurant in Boone, North Carolina, and I ordered a stuffed flounder. And yeah, and so one of the benefits of being an only child is when you go out to eat, you don't have to like eat cheap or order off the kids menu because it was like they had instead of like me growing up with siblings and developing social skills, it was like well instead has you can order uh, uh more expensive dishes off the menu. um so I remember I ordered this stuffed flounder, and I guess my point is it was really good. It was it was a really good piece of fish at this restaurant in Boone, North Carolina. That was back when seafood was still good before the oceans got overfished and flooded with oil. Because that's another thing. I tell you what, man, and this is me speaking, being completely uninformed, having no clue what I'm talking about or understanding of anything. But it feels like they may not be like showing us exactly how bad it is in the ocean right now. Because when I was in high school, a lot of y'all probably remember this, 2008, early 2009, we went to another restaurant. Uh, and we were living in Texas. We were settled in at the town that I would like spend the rest of my growing up years in. And this is a town right outside of Fort Worth. So one day we went to into Fort Worth to go eat at there's a seafood restaurant, and it's like a small chain. This was one of them, the one they got in Fort Worth called Papado. Really nice place, really good food. And this was at the time we went to Papado, and at the time they had on the menu they had you could get a dozen oysters for like $4 or $5. You could just eat like as many oysters as you could stomach at that time for pretty cheap. And then like 2 weeks later on the news, we see that the British petroleum drilling operation Deepwater Horizon has blown up, exploded in the Gulf of what was then known at the time known as the Gulf of Mexico, now the Gulf of America. That did this oil thing fucking explodes, and now the entire Gulf is just flooded with oil. And then, lo and behold, the price of seafood skyrockets. The next time we go to Papado, a dozen oysters is like $20, and then that never changed. Like in the time since then, as they were showing us all the things on the news where they're washing off ducks with Dawn dish soap, that they're cleaning out the ocean, the price of seafood like never went back down. So it's like to this day, oysters are hella expensive, and all the snappers and branzinos and all the fish are just like very expensive and also not as good as they used to be. There's just not like all the seafood is like declined in quality, and I feel like, and this might be a bit of a conspiracy theory, I suppose this would be a pretty tame one compared to how schizophrenic the internet is now. But this is a bit of a conspiracy theory that the ocean is like more of a wasteland than it's ever been, and they're just not like telling us that it's like it's way dirtier than they're telling us, and there's not as much fish in it as there used to be. It's overfished, and so we're just not like aware of how bad it is in the ocean. And so but then it's, I guess like the only indication we would have is just like seafood is becoming just unaffordable and not good enough. It's not good enough to even justify what you have to pay for it. You know, if I go get a dozen oysters and they're little tiny, little shriveled up, uh, little shriveled up oysters, little shriveled nuts in a half shell, that's not worth my $20. I want big fat ass oysters like I used to get, and you can't get them anymore. This is not the time of year to get them. Well, actually, what month is it? It's April. So I always heard it was any month with an R, you could still get oysters. So this is probably the last month to get oysters, and then we're gonna, May, June, July, and August is not good time for oysters. It's, like the hot seasons, the warm seasons. I've always heard you don't want to get oysters during the spring and summer, and so they say you want to stick with the months that have an R in them. It's like a rule of thumb. But even then, I go get, I remember going to get oysters, and they were big, huge, fucking, fat oysters on the half. You get a dozen raw oysters, and it would take you a couple bites to even get through them. Now they're little puny, pathetic, just shriveled up. They look like shriveled up nuts. Like after you get done going for a jog and your nuts get all cinched up. That's what the oysters look like now. And it's $20 for a dozen of them, and your body doesn't even register that you've eaten anything when you eat those. And I get that's probably because the ocean is just filled with fucking oil and trash, and it's being overfished. They got all this equipment out there where they can just like drag like an industrial sized net and grab up all the fish, and you do that for enough years and there's nothing left. Which, if they ever did figure out, I keep seeing more and more news about like lab grown meat. Like if they could figure out how to grow everything in a lab and it tasted the same, I'm on board with that. Because I'm disconnected from the meat anyway, like all the food. Like when I go to the store and buy meat, it doesn't. It's actually the times that I like really think about it, and like I'm looking down at I'm in the meat aisle, and I'm looking down at like one of them a plastic, the package wrapped in plastic of like a couple of ribeyes or some hamburger patties or whatever it may be. It's like the times that I actually like really think about it, and then I just envision in my mind's eye just like a whole bunch of cows in a farm, or all those cows in those like factory like enclosures, those factory farms, and I just see rows and rows of cows getting shot with those No Country for Old Men guns, and then slaughtered and processed, and they spend their lives and living in like an enclosure not much bigger than they are, and they're riddled with tumors and being pumped full of antibiotics, all that. And it's like when I really start to ponder upon the meat itself and connect it to the animal, I find myself disgusted by it. So I just can't even think about it when I like try to less like remove the abstraction from it, like where like when I get to the meat, I find it's just like hamburger patties, so it's like been abstracted from the cow itself. But then when I like reconnect, when I like start thinking like a Native American, and I like really start to respect and honor the animal in my mind, and I see the cow and the life it lived, I do get kind of grossed out by it. Like I get sad and I kind of get like panicky about it. And so it's like if you were to tell if I go to a store like in the future and all the meat was just like grown in a lab, and the only animal that suffered was just like the Chinese people getting paid like pennies on the dollar to work at this lab, then I think I'd be like cool with that. If it tasted the same, I'm fine with it. And if they could figure out seafood, if they could figure out lab grown seafood, that's like almost like a utopian vision of the future. That's like the next step after that is like the Star Trek replicator, and that's how we achieve post scarcity. Is we start growing meat in the labs. Chinese people make $1 a day to grow the meat in the lab and ship it over here. With the tariffs, I don't know if we're going to be able to do that, at this point. But the meat grows in a lab, and then Sal just texted me back. He said, "Yeah, I suck. I fell back sleep." Okay, it starts with it's the lab grown meat, and then we get the replicator from Star Trek, and that's how we achieve post scarcity, and we get to do space communism, like in Star Trek or whatever was going on. I haven't watched all of it. I do enjoy Star Trek. I just, I'm not like a nerd, or I am. I don't know. I just haven't watched all of it yet. Um, what is this? What animal do you think do I think I was in a past life? A farm cow? Yeah, probably something peaceful like that. I'd like to think I was like a farm cow, just kind of chewing on grass, just grazing all day, and then one day somebody comes up behind me with a No Country for Old Men gun, and then everything goes black. And then when I go back into Samsara and the Wheel of Ka, I'm reborn as what you see now, you know. Um, which so yeah, I guess I'm a Brahmin. Um, oh, Sal says he can't do the night shifts anymore, so he's trying to get another job. All right, whatever. He's still not getting fucking paid for the podcast. I read a book one time, by the way, a really good book. I'm gonna start reading again. I might start doing like a book series. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, I think I was a cow, and now I'm a person that is very much cow-like. I just kind of like, just kind of do nothing all day and just kind of graze and just eat throughout the day, and then I go to sleep, and I do that again the next day. I read a book. It was a few years ago. It was actually like leading into my when I went into active psychosis. I went to the library. I went to the library and I checked out a book by this sci-fi writer. It was Roger Zelazny, and it was this like really dense sci-fi magic spiritualism book called Lord of Light that was like really confusing as I was reading it, but it kind of came together eventually. But it's like it's all like Hindu. It's like Hindu shit where it's like the Wheel of Ka and Samsara and all the Hindu gods, and everybody gets to be immortal, like they're always just reborn or something. But then there was like one guy who actually did decide to permanently um die, I guess, like go to nirvana or something, who was like the Buddha, right? The Siddhartha or whatever the fuck they call him. But then they bring him back to do something, and then like come to find out it was like a planet that humans had escaped to, because like it was one of those, the Earth had become uninhabitable or whatever, and so they found another planet, and they had like by that time they had developed some technology where they could like transfer their consciousnesses indefinitely to other things, I guess. And so they like built this new civilization on this planet based on Hindu mythology. And so like all these gods and Hindu creatures and shit that are running around fighting with each other are just humans whose consciousnesses they've like transferred and reborn themselves like over and over again to the point where they've kind of forgotten their own origins. And then there's just like this one guy who does remember like how everything started, and he's the one that decided to finally die for real, but then they force him to come back. It was a good, but I don't really remember all of it, but it was like a kind of like a profound kind of book. But I'm fucking stupid now, so I don't read it. I don't really read enough anymore to like really dissect literature in any meaningful way. Um, Robbie's third cousin, $5. Check out the Expanse series by James S.A. Corey if you haven't. It's easily digestible entertainment. I've heard good things. I started watching the show years ago because I saw that Thomas Jane is in it, and I like him a lot. I liked, even though it's like not a good movie at all. Him as him as the Punisher, I enjoyed, and that fucking hack. This fucking guy, I think it's this guy, the Indian dude that's getting to make all the shows now. Did he? Yes. Okay, so this fucking Indian guy that's just like stinking up everything, every property they hand him to make into a show. Adi Shankar. Have you seen this? Have you heard about this? This fucking dude. He recently made this like the Devil May Cry anime on Netflix. It looks like it fucking sucks. Well, years ago he was just doing like a kind of high budget, like really well done like fan films. Like they looked like high budget fan made YouTube movies that he used to do, and there was one he did that's actually good. There was actually a couple he did that were pretty good. Now he sucks. This fucking Devil May Cry show looks like it's terrible. But he did a Punisher movie on YouTube where he brought back Thomas Jane as the Punisher, and it's called Punisher Dirty Laundry, and so it's Thomas Jane's Punisher, and he's just doing laundry. And so that's the way, and that's the device that's actually pretty cool that explains why he's not wearing the skull shirt, is because he's washing it, you know? And so he's like doing laundry, you know, at a classic New York laundromat, and then some shit happens where he has to be the Punisher. And it's like really good. It's really well done. And Thomas Jane is great coming back he's great as the Punisher. And so I saw that he's also good in that movie, The Mist, which is a fun little romp. The Mist, based on the Stephen King short story. That's a good movie. I like Thomas Jane. And so I saw that he was in this Expanse TV show, and I watched the first episode, and it was like, anytime Thomas Jane was not on screen, I was like, bring back Thomas Jane. I'm fucking bored to tears watching these D-level sci-fi channel actors pretend to give a shit about this show they're in. Bring back Thomas Jane. He's the best part of this. I want to see him. He's a space detective or something. I want the show to be Thomas Jane solving crimes in space. And it wasn't enough of that to keep me interested. But I'll check out the books, I guess. But yeah, Thomas Jane is cool. And then that fucking Indian. Did you guys see that the Indian guy he did this Devil May Cry piece of shit show on Netflix? And I guess like now wrestling's on Netflix. I guess like the WWE's on Netflix. So he was at the this is a very good point. C Dumps. In a moment of clarity and lucidity for C-Dumps, that Thomas Jane is good as the Punisher, but yes, Ray Stevenson in Punisher Warzone, that actually is the best Punisher, that like adaptation that we've gotten. Yo, miss me with this fucking John Bernthal Punisher on the TV. I ain't trying to see Punisher have feelings and work through his shit. the Ray Stevenson Punisher, that movie Punisher Warzone, is like the best that anyone has ever done that character, where it's just like a guy who looks like dog shit, um, putting on like bulletproof vests and grabbing a bunch of guns and killing literally everybody he finds. And it's awesome. It's a really good movie. It's very fun. It's over the top. It's exploitative. It's kind of silly. It's exactly what that character is. That's a really good. That's an awesome movie. And rest in peace, Ray Stevenson. He is dead now. But I cannot recommend that movie enough. McNulty from The Wire is in it. He plays a character called Jigsaw, not the one from the Saw movies. It's a different Jigsaw who gets like thrown into some kind of, I don't know what, like a glass recycler that should kill him, but because it's a comic book movie, they're they're able to pull him out, and then they have to like sew his face back on or something, so his face looks like all, pieced back together. So he calls himself Jigsaw from that moment forward. And it's yeah, what's that actor's name? Dominic West, the guy who played McNulty in The Wire. He's great as the villain. He's like really hamming it up, chewing the scenery. He's a real comic book villain in the movie. It's a comic book movie. This shit they're fucking doing now with all this comic book shit, where like none of it translates as like being like fun in the way that like a comic book is. It's like they're trying to like construct these interlocking narratives and make these big budget fucking blockbusters or whatever. The Punisher Warzone movie is probably like one of the better versions of like somebody taking a comic book and moving it from the page to a movie, because it's just as like colorful and ridiculous as a comic book. It's awesome. But now it's like, now that all these studios are spending like hundreds of millions of dollars on these pieces of shit, they keep trying to like elevate them to be like more than they are. And so, but then what you get is just like none of it's even fun. Like none of it's enjoyable. It's also, I mean, it's been like over a decade of this shit. I'm just tired of watching them. Um, we need $2. We need to see a Pittsburgh toilet. What does this mean? I don't know what that means. A pit, is that what, like that show like The Pit? Like we need to see a show about which is a show about like the janitors? Like a spin-off of The Pit where it's the hospital janitors cleaning the toilets. I like that idea. If that's what in fact, I don't really care what you actually mean by that. They should do a serious show that's like the janitor from Scrubs, but it's like a drama, and it's the janitor, it's the custodial team at that hospital in the pit. And I haven't watched any of the actual show, but they do it concurrently with the story of this season that just happened. So they do another show where in the background is all the dramatic moments from everything everybody just watched, but we're now focused on the janitors, and somebody just took a big dump, and now they got to go clean the toilet, and that's the sort of what drives the narrative. Is everybody, the people keep taking big dumps and pissing and throwing up, and the janitor's got to go clean the toilet, and that's the Pittsburgh toilet. Uh, let's see. They're telling me the chat's telling I gotta Google Pittsburgh toilet. Is this one of those like gross things from when I was a kid, like blue waffle? Let me see. Pittsburgh toilet. Oh, is this okay? It's not gross. It's just like a funny regional. Just like a funny regional thing for Pittsburgh, I guess. where it looks like it's just in Pittsburgh in like basements, in the basements of homes in Pittsburgh. They'll just have like a toilet, just like a loose toilet. Is that what it is? Is that a Pittsburgh toilet? It's just a loose toilet in the basement. Because that's what the internet is saying it is. It's just like in the basement of a Pittsburgh home, they'll have a toilet just out. Like it's a functioning toilet, but it's not in a bathroom or anything. Is that what you're asking me to look at? Uh, because it does look, it is like a funny just a funny cultural thing, whatever you want to call it, just like a like regional to Pittsburgh is they just have a loose toilet in the basement that I guess you would do all your pisses and shits in. Yeah. So this is fun. I do this is good clean fun. This is nothing like a Blue Waffle or that guy that put the mason jar up his ass. This is just a loose toilet in the basement. And so that's cool. That's yeah, okay, I like this. This is sort of like a not creepy pasta, like those things you would see on Reddit where it's like a random staircase in the woods where this is just like just an errant toilet in the basement with no walls and it's not in a bathroom. And it's just like imagine taking a dump. Imagine, if you will, taking a shit in the basement. Isn't that creepy? But I like my idea. Um, I like my idea that of the a show called the Pittsburgh toilet, and it's that hot. It's a day. It's 24 hours at that same hospital in the pit, but it's like the janitors have to go clean up diarrhea. But it's played as serious, like it carries all the same. It's like dramaturgically the same as the show about the doctors, but it's just like cleaning up. Dude, it's like somebody took a dump, and now the janitors have to deal with this. And so it explores all the characters and their motivations, what drives them, why they became janitors. Um, Probably because they only have GEDs and needed a job. Uh, so that's my idea for a spinoff of the pit. Yo, I've been getting into let me see. By the way, Sal's been texting me. Um, yeah, I guess he's just. I mean, I really don't hold anything against him because like he's got a family. He's got like a wife and kids, and he's been working nights, like his job. He's been working nights, and so I think he's just been like thrust into a uncertainty and chaos and pandemonium for the last like several months as he tries to figure his life out. So I can't really bemoan him for not being able to, or struggling to line up being able to do this podcast. Um, so no hard feelings to Sal, but yeah, he's definitely not getting any podcast money this month. $2, Sean from Pittsburgh. I've taken many dumps in Pittsburgh toilets. It's real. So, dude, it's so funny to like if you're a Pittsburgh native or just like the city of Pittsburgh, like one of the things it's known for is loose toilets. Is loose is loose basement toilets, underground toilets. It's like you got the steel plants, you got the steel, you got the football team, the Steelers, and then you have loose toilets. And then you got that show, The Pit. That's also now that's put Pittsburgh. Now that Pittsburgh is back on the map, now that everybody's talking about Pittsburgh, because of this cool new doctor show. Everybody's gonna find out about the loose toilets of Pittsburgh, the city of loose toilets. Like somebody's car runs out of gas, they come knock on your door, and they say, "Hey, can I please use your bathroom?" It's like you gotta use you gotta go use the loose toilet in the basement. The main bathroom's not for strangers coming in off the street. You gotta go use the loose toilet, the basement toilet. That's actually never happened to me or anybody I know, that anyone's run out of gas and had to go take a dump at a stranger's house. I was just trying to envision a scenario where you would have to make someone use a Pittsburgh toilet. And I guess like if someone ran out of gas and really had to take a dump while they were waiting for AAA and they were in Pittsburgh, they would go knock on a door and be like, "All right, I guess you can use the bathroom, but you got to go use the basement toilet." Um, but I've actually no, I've never done that. The only time I've ever like knocked on a stranger's door or rang a stranger's doorbell was when I was a kid, and the school had me tried to get me to sell chocolate door to door. Did your school ever do that, where they would have they would give you like boxes of chocolate bars or a catalog? It was either chocolate or wrapping paper, depending on the time of year. And then you would just have to go to all the houses in your neighborhood and be like, "Do you want to buy wrapping paper for this Christmas? Do you want to spend do you want to spend more money than you've ever spent on wrapping paper? You want like luxury wrapping paper from the school?" And then I guess like if you sold, they could in this for you're basically like doing sales for some fucking company that somehow is also benefiting the school, but they can't pay you. You're doing the job of door to door sales, but they can't actually like pay you money for it for whatever reason. But if you sold enough wrapping paper, they'd give you like a paddle ball as a prize. You got a prize. Um, so that's the American school system, is like once or twice a year they make the kids do door to door sales for the neighborhood. And they make the kids do unpaid labor, and then the kid who sells the most gets like a Game Boy. That's one of the only times I've ever like knocked on a stranger's door. And then there's trick or treat. And then when I was in in active psychosis, like when I was having my mental issues, I remember I was having um I was having actual like physiological, I don't know how to describe it. I was having like trouble orienting myself, and not like Chinese orienting. Like I just kept like feel it was like this feeling of being lost, and even if I was like in an area that should be familiar to me, I just couldn't figure out where I was, and I don't know what was going on. I really I don't know what was happening, like as far as like my brain goes, why I had no sense of like direction or familiarity with my surroundings. And so I remember just like going for a walk one day, and then that happened to me, where all of a sudden I just had no clue where I was, and I couldn't like orient myself or figure out how to like do the maps on my phone. Like nothing made any sense. This is because I'm like going crazy, right? Uh, and I remember getting like, I was so scared. I just remember feeling like extremely frightened and started panicking. And then I just started like ringing doorbells. Like I just started going up to places and like ringing doorbells to see if anybody could help me figure out where I was. And then nobody answered. And then I think me doing that made its way to the Citizen app. Because then eventually, it wasn't the police that showed up, but somebody did finally like come outside and be like, "Hey, what is going on?" And I was like, "I don't know where I am." And then I think like somehow they got me turned around. Like I figured out how to get. I finally made it back to my apartment at the time, and then I went in and I remember my roommate was in there and he had this look of like he was scared. He was like, I don't know. I walked in and he was on his laptop, and then he looks at his laptop and he looks at me and he looks back at his laptop, and he was like, "What is something going? Like, what's going on?" And I explained to him what happened, and he said, "Was it this cross street?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he goes, "Okay." And then he like closed his laptop and went into his room. And so I think like what had happened is like some alert had gone out. I don't know. I mean, maybe I was just paranoid at the time but I do feel like that because it was such a like an old people like this was like a neighborhood of like families and old Greek people and shit that you got some crazy guy just like banging on doors and ringing doorbells that's gonna make its way onto the Citizen app. I don't know. That could have just been my own paranoia, thinking that everybody was watching me and reporting me. But I feel like that might have happened. But I guess like what I'm saying though is that's the only other time I've ever had to, or I didn't have to, but that I ended up knocking on strangers' doors. Other than trying to sell wrapping paper or ask for candy as a kid. Um, So, but I guess if I was stranded and really needed to take a dump, I wouldn't be above asking a stranger if I could use their loose toilet in the basement. Um, Please subscribe to the Patreon, patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. The other day, a Patreon subscriber by the name of Wolf Pussy asked me to update the whole audio feed for Cornfed and everything, and I am working on that. I'm working on being better at producing everything, but I'm working on like compiling all the audio files and getting everything like fixed up and uploaded. So for now, you know, I don't know how many of the last several episodes are only available on the YouTube. That's the situation for right now until I get the whole audio thing organized and fixed. Um, I don't know what the issue is with YouTube. I get people can't seem to just hit play and set their phone down and listen to it. They need the audio feed, which that's not too much to ask. You know, that's not like a tall order for me. It's it just but it does take like some amount of work on my end, so I do have to fix that. But also, I don't really it's on YouTube. You just hit play and like even if you don't have YouTube Premium, you could just set your phone down without closing the screen and it'll keep playing. If you have YouTube Premium, which actually is kind of worth it, you can hit play on a YouTube video and lock your phone screen and it'll keep playing. So you can play everything in the background. So it's actually, YouTube Premium is actually kind of nice. Like to live in a world now where um it's kind of like I don't know how to describe it. It's just a wasteland of subscriptions nowadays where like everything you want to watch or listen to or be entertained by, you don't actually own or have access to in any meaningful way. It's all subscription services. Um, but YouTube. I don't work for YouTube. They actually will not monetize most of my shit. I'm just saying it is like a good product. YouTube Premium actually is kind of worth it. Um, I do still like Spotify Premium just because of the when I listen to a song, it shows you the lyrics what on the thing like through the Spotify player. But that's that's maybe not worth paying for, to be honest with you. I should have canceled that. Um, what was I saying? Oh yeah, the audio feed thing. Yeah, it's not a bit. It's not something that like everyone is demanding or that's like losing me a lot of subscribers. It's just every now and then somebody reaches out who does really enjoy the show and they want to support and listen to it, but they have like, like whatever their job is, that they would prefer to be able to play it in their podcast app instead of having to like pull it up on YouTube or whatever. Um, and so no, it's not. Yeah, it's not a bit. It's just not something there's a lot of demand for. But I guess if I am to be a podcaster by trade, or whatever you want to call it, I should be better about that. But it's like, you know what? I gotta fucking do the show and produce it. It's not really. I mean, it's not like a ton of producing. It's just like just editing. Not even editing. Just like converting an audio file to the right format and then uploading it. Um, oh, thank you, Panatron. $8 from Panatron. Get salad slice. I think you could use it. Yeah, Sal could use a slice. I gotta do more shows with Panatron. We were doing some cool shows for a while there, and then I don't know. I guess life got in the way. Uh, life is always getting in the way, man. I fucking hate. I hate it when you. Who's calling me? Oh, Kevin's calling me. I can't answer that. I'm doing a podcast right now. What was I gonna say? I hate it when you get good at a job. Like a job, like a W-2 job, like a job. Because like I'm like good at what I do now, and so it's like it pays good money, and it's like shit, man. Now I gotta I have to keep this. I have to like apply, continue to apply myself and work and do a good job to keep making good money. Um, you know what I mean? Where it's the golden handcuffs of actually having a marketable skill set and become valued at your company. Where it's like, well, damn, now I'm actually making good enough money that I really need this. Like, I can't justify just leaving this job because it's like, like when you're working a job where you ain't getting paid shit, it's easy to just like bounce around jobs and quit and do whatever you want. I mean, you're downwardly mobile, but you're not um, beholden to any job or company or anything. But then when you actually get good at something and they start valuing you and giving you like rewards and paying you more, it's like shit, man. Now I gotta like do this until something else until like something else happens. But like for the time being, for the next however long, I really do have to keep plugging away at this thing. You know what I mean? It's just like taking a job because you just need it, and then getting good at it and being like, damn man, I never even wanted to do this shit. This was not my dream. But now I'm getting paid too much money to like walk away from this. Now it's like, oh, this is actually pretty good for me. Um, which I guess is a good problem to have. It's a problem I've never had before, where it's like, oh, the company values the work I do and they're paying me more money. That actually is quite a bless. You know what? I would say that's a blessing. Um, that is the cool thing about sales, man. Is it's like even this, like all the podcasting, it's like I gotta sell the Patreon and sell the fucking. By the way, if you go to the Patreon, I haven't really promoted this lately. If you go to the Patreon, patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt, and subscribe to the $25 tier, that is that gets you the Fraternal Order of Cornfed sticker. That if you stay subscribed for 3 months, you get the Patreon will ship you the sticker. So it is like $75 for the decal, basically, but it's a really good sticker. So please subscribe to the $25 tier. Oh, Kevin wants to join the show. Okay, we'll do like a few minutes with Kevin. Here, Kevin, I'm just gonna put the link in the chat. You can click on it there. Nobody else click on that. Just Kevin. Um, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, but like when you do sales, whether it's for yourself, like your own business, or even for a company, like if you have like an actual sales job, there is like a more direct compensation. You know what I mean? Like if you work in an office doing some bullshit or wherever you work, you just have like your wage. So it's like even if you do like really good for a while, they just keep paying you your hourly. But if you do sales and you do like really well, you get like more commission. So it's like you can go from making just your hourly to making like six figures within like the first year of doing sales if you get like if you can be like really good at it, which I feel like maybe those opportunities are kind of drying up with Indians and AI. Hello, Kevin.
Hey, what's up, bull?
What's up? Oh, hold on. Drew's gonna. Drew?
What's up, Drew?
Kevin.
I think I'm drunker than you, bull.
Whoa.
How many beers have
Maybe.
y'all had?
I actually just came. I had to quick drink, so I got home from the baseball game about an hour and a half ago. So I just start slamming beers when I got home. So I'm about 6 beers and a shot in, maybe.
Nice.
Yep.
Drew, how
We're
much have you had to
close.
drink?
We're close. I'm about 8 or 9, I think. Probably more, but that's what I can see.
That's pretty
Drew,
respectable for a
can we see your
Tuesday.
living room again?
No, do not go back in that living room, dude.
No, no, yeah.
Nobody
Holy
should ever
shit.
see that living room again. We should not. We should not know what that looks like.
That was awful.
That was terrifying.
So, is that woman coming back ever, or is she just going to die?
That's kind of up to her and God, dude.
Oh my God. So you
Anyways, I
live
was
in
just checking in, guys. Love you. I know there's like an audio. I hear the echo, so love you, doggy.
Love you, Drew.
Hey, love you, Drew.
Shout out to all the dogs.
Shout out Sumo Dog.
Yeah, shout out to Sumo Dog.
Shout out Gizmo Dog.
Oh, nice. What geek bar is that?
Sour Blue Dust.
Sour Blue Dust.
That's what it's called.
Nice.
Yep.
I have like a regular flavor now if I can find it.
I
This
like
is
the
my
sour.
my go to is the it's only available in the Pulse X, so it's the Geek Bar Pulse X Banana Taffy Freeze. So it's an icy banana.
Yep.
Yeah, that's like my favorite. That's the one I usually
You
buy.
always sucking on banana, aren't
Dude,
you?
I be sucking on bananas constantly.
Oh, you love sucking banana.
I love sucking banana, yeah.
Yep. So I don't know. How you been?
I've been good, man. How about you?
Well, you said you were getting fired last week, and you're like, I just beat all the records for sales. And I was like,
Well,
you get
yeah, that's I guess that's sales is like they start to turn the screws on you to make you do better, and then when you do better, they give you more money. So it's like
I don't know. You literally were just like, I'm about to get fired, and then you're like, I just broke a world record for sales. You
well,
know?
they put me on like a verbal write up. It's like a write up that's technically not a write up. It's a
Yeah.
verbal, but I still have to sign for it. And yeah, and so like so far this month I am like leading in revenue. Like I've it's there's still 2 weeks left in the fiscal month. So the fiscal ends on the last day is the 21st.
Yeah.
And I've already hit like 100% of my revenue goals.
Okay, but so I know like most of your clientele is like black folks, basketball players.
No, no. No.
It's not black folks.
I mean, it's I like service financially constrained people who also just a lot of times happen to also be black.
Retired basketball players.
Yeah.
I don't know. So are your coworkers generally mostly black too?
I don't want to talk too much about my day job because I need it, and
Okay, I'm
I don't
sorry.
want them to find this. All I can tell you here, I'll say this much: every dumbass, stupid sounding bullshit thing that you've ever heard any sort of like sales guru grifter say is absolutely true and it works. I would not pay to go to an Andy Elliott seminar, but I will watch Andy Elliott TikToks and then just like learn from his like platitudes that he screams at people.
Yeah.
It's like all that stuff that sounds ridiculous, where it's like, all right, this guy's full of shit. It's actually very true. Jordan Belfort is right about everything when it comes to, like, selling to people.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate. It's like all the dickheads who make tons of money just kind of being confident and smiling real big and finagling people. They are right. Like if you can do the things that they're talking about, you can sell to people and make a lot of money. Patrick, but hell yeah, dude, I'm Patrick Bet Dalton, dude. I did. I'm Patrick Bet Dalton.
So
Thank-
for me with sales, like I never felt comfortable selling like products that I didn't believe in, you know? So if I
Ugh.
knew it was bullshit, I did not want to sell it. But if
Kevin,
like
see, you're already off the mark because you're not selling the product. You're selling yourself. Do you believe in yourself, Kevin?
no, that one bit,
Oh, so that's going to be an issue.
yep.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. It's like it is just like the thing is like talking to people, having the confident, being confident, and talking to people in a way where you get them to like lower their guard, like where they
I I
everybody knows when they're being sold to.
bro, I could never do that.
Everybody knows when they're being sold to. So it's
No.
like the trick is like somehow getting a potential client to understand that you're not interested in like working them over or squeezing as much money out of them. That really what you are interested in is um fulfilling an actual need that they have.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like when I talk to like potential clients, I really am like having a conversation with them and talking to them and getting an idea of what it is I need to pitch to them.
Hmm.
And so it's like I'm not like I don't just pitch like the most expensive shit to everybody. Like when I talk to someone, I try to gauge like what it is they would actually need and then I pitch based on that. And it's just like every now and then I do get someone who I think would actually benefit from the most expensive shit, and I pitch them that to try, and that's where I make a ton of money. But like more often than not, I'm pitching things to people that are like pretty affordable. Where I'm going, yeah, you don't need the fancy, the best, and all the bells and whistles. Like I think this should do you just fine.
That
And they,
that's fine, yeah. So
yeah, and then where I make my money is like adding on products to that. Where I go, like this is your base, and then you're gonna want, I gotta if you bundle this with it and this, you get this kind of deal, this much money off of these, and that's where I make my money is like upselling them on additional shit.
yeah.
But yeah, it's just like I guess it really is just
I still could never do sales because I think a time or two you probably put somebody in a position where they afford the payments for whatever you sold them.
no.
You don't think
No,
you?
because I tell everybody, anyone I sell to, I go, you have a 30-day satisfaction guarantee. So it's like, if within the first 30 days you decide that you can't afford this, or you don't need it, it's not to your liking, you can get all of your money back. Like cancel
Okay.
it, you'll
Alright.
get everything. So if they keep
Well,
it beyond that, that's all on them.
I gotta tell you, your fans are probably like listening to everything you're saying and picking apart where you probably work at.
No, I work
Lowe's.
for Cutco Knives. I work for Vector Marketing, and I go to people's houses and I cut a penny in half with a pair of scissors.
Hey, I never really told your fans where I work.
They don't. Yeah, no one needs to know where any of us work.
It doesn't matter, but like at one point I was like a blackjack dealer, and then now I just work at a casino
Yeah,
doing.
you. By the way, you have tried pitching that job to me, where you're like, "Yeah, be a blackjack dealer." I truly could never do. That
It's
job.
so,
I'm like, I would never fucking do that.
bro, it's so easy, and you make good money because you get tips.
Right, but
You could
I
work.
do what.
You could work 3 days a week and make 70,000 a year.
Yeah, but I have to drive to a place and wear a fucking gold vest and
Remember my
get.
gold vest?
Yeah, I gotta wear a casino outfit and and then yeah. I mean, I don't know. If it works for you, it works for you.
All I ever had. I had kids, man. I had to fucking, I had to do something. So
Right. I'm saying like first off, I am a massively talented broadcaster, and
I agree. I
this is
agree.
where I'm going to make my fortune. Until
Dalton,
then,
I agree. I'm the one that brought you into comedy. I told you to go fucking do it. I agree. You're a good, funny fucking comic, but what get your bills paid with it then.
yes, I am.
Go back and do stand up, man.
Yes,
Tired of having this argument with you,
we're
man.
not having an argument. I don't even know why we're talking about all this. We're not having an argument.
Yeah, we shouldn't air this out.
I'm just saying that I'm good at sales, and if all else fails, I could sell classes on how to be good at sales, like that guy who looks like Johnny Sins, Andy Elliott.
You could do comedy classes, bro.
I could be that. Who's that guy in Dallas? Dean
Lewis.
Lewis. Yeah.
You could do that.
Yeah, I could be Dean Lewis, dude. I could sell like stand up classes.
You could do podcasting classes.
Now that is an untapped market.
Yeah, I'm telling you, that's a new untapped.
Podcasting courses. How to do podcasting.
Yep. I mean, because I think you're a better stand-up than you are a podcaster, but you're better at podcasting than most comics. So
Yeah. Well, most comics are not even funny.
I agree.
Dude, there's like so many people I know who have never even written a joke or stepped foot on a comedy club stage.
Yeah.
Who I'm like are funnier than a lot of the people I would see like going to try and do comedy.
Yeah.
Because it's like the people that want to do comedy are fucking just like narcissists.
You know who keeps like popping up in my algorithm? I was like, he's a pretty funny comic. Is Gary Owen? Do you know who that is?
The Wigger?
Yeah, the Wigger.
Yeah.
He's so funny. He keeps popping up, and I'm like, all right, I'll watch it. And I'm like, and it makes me laugh. You like Gary Owen?
Gary Owen is funny, yeah.
I never thought I would like him. I was like, but he just keeps popping up, and I watch it, and I'm like, all right, that made me laugh. So
Yeah. Pandatron has a good point. I could write jokes for comics. Like I could sell jokes to people. Like Andy, like that guy from that movie about Saturday Night Live.
Andy Andrus?
No. Well, I guess he did do that, but no, Andy Zweeble. Andy Andrus also did that. Yeah, he also sold jokes.
Hold on.
What is what is that? Is that your car is ajar? The door is ajar? Oh, Kevin has. Yeah, it looks like Kevin has wandered into the void. Okay.
I'm back.
There's a light in the. Oh, whoa. Okay, cool.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
No,
Oh, somebody figured out the make of your car based on the noises. That's a Ford right there.
Ford Fiesta, baby.
It's a Ford Fiesta?
Yeah.
Shit, man. They don't even make cars no. Why am I hearing there's feedback?
Hold on.
Hold on. Come on, man. Is it? He says, yeah, it's a Ford Fiesta, folks. And Ford don't even make sedans no more. They don't make cars. I think Ford only makes trucks now. Um, yeah. I used to work at Enterprise.
Connected.
We're good, babe. So my Ford Fiesta is my commuter car. I also have a Ford Ranger and I have a Ford Explorer. It's all Ford.
You're a Ford man.
Yeah.
That's all you can afford.
That's not true. Hey, we buy Ford. I've found Ford the most reliable. I've had everything else, and I found Ford the most reliable.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I was gonna say, remember when I worked at Enterprise for like a year?
Yeah.
I drove everything, and I never thought anything Ford drove as good as like Japanese cars.
I don't care how well it drives. I'm talking about reliability. Is it gonna start?
Well, Toyota can. You can put 400,000 miles on a fucking Toyota, dude.
I almost got 200 on this bitch right here.
That ain't bad.
I've never had an issue with it either. I had to change a belt, and I had to. What did I do? I changed the belt, and I had to. I had to change an ignition switch, but I'm like I know how to fix shit, so it's not a problem.
Do you know what was the worst car to drive on the road?
That fucking Volkswagen you had.
No, that Volkswagen was nice. That was a diesel.
Okay.
I mean, like of the car of all the cars I drove working at Enterprise, so I got to drive like pretty much everything. The worst were like muscle cars. So like Mustangs fucking are terrible.
Oh
And
yeah.
then those like Dodge Chargers are really bad.
Yeah.
But the absolute worst driving car I ever drove was the fucking Jeep Wrangler.
Yeah.
That shit sucks, dude. It is a terrible like car for the road. I can see it. I can see why people like it for off roading, but on the highway, that thing is a nightmare.
Nah. Yeah. The best car to drive is like a sedan. Just like
Just a regular. Dude, the best. Honestly, the regular ass cars. The best I ever drove was like just like Toyota Corollas and Hyundai Elantras and Honda Civics. Those are all great, reliable. I can't recommend those enough for just like your car to have.
Bro, have you never drove a Ford Fiesta?
No, I don't think. I think the Fiesta was out of production by the time I worked there.
That's a smooth ass ride. This is 2016. It wasn't out of production then.
Well, the best vehicle I ever drove, like if you got the money for it, the best vehicle I ever got to drive in was this. It was like an Infinity SUV. It was like the Infinity Q series, I think. That thing was awesome. That was like the best car I ever got to drive there. It's smooth, and you feel like the king of the road. It's a big ass SUV. That was a really fun car to drive. The American SUVs suck ass, dude.
Don't do that.
A Cadillac Escalade might have been one of the most nightmarish driving experiences I ever had. Were like driving. Because they build these fucking, the American SUVs are built like fucking boats. They're big as shit, and it just felt so clunky. And at the time, I don't know if Cadillac is still doing this. The rearview mirror was not a mirror; it was a camera. So the rearview mirror was actually a camera feed for like a camera that's on the back of the car. That when you like put it in reverse, you're not seeing what's actually like the reflection in the mirror. You're just seeing like the camera. I hated it.
Well, don't act like libtard shit. Americans don't know how to make cars.
America kind of does not know how to make cars anymore.
Bro,
America does not make good vehicles anymore.
I've got a 2020 Ford Explorer that runs like a dream. So,
An American dream.
American dream. American cream.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Cars are
Not in the podcast. You're about to try to do that. Don't do it.
Do what?
You're about to be like, oh, I gotta go now. We're not doing that right now.
I don't have to go just yet. I mean, we are coming up on 2 hours.
Dude, I've seen you do 4. So
I don't really want to do another 2 hours.
Did I tell you about the Yeshiva ball team?
No. What is that?
Yeshiva, they're a baseball team. They're D3, so they're like a low-level college team.
Yeshiva, like Jewish?
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeshiva, look it up. They were on a 99-game losing streak.
Okay, and?
Because they're Jews, and they're bad at baseball. But they played a doubleheader against the second worst Jewish baseball team.
Okay.
Layman.
Like, what are they called?
Google it. Look it up. So I want you to catch up.
Jewish baseball teams?
Just look up Yeshiva baseball.
Yeshiva. Oh, here we go. Yeshiva versus Laban. Okay.
They had a doubleheader, so they played 2 games today. And Layman was on like a 45-game losing streak, and Yeshiva was on like a 99-game losing streak, or like 100 or something.
Oh, wow. It's in the news. USA Today, 2 college baseball teams had lost 141 games in a row combined. Then they met.
And then they split it, dude. Both teams in the winning streak playing each other.
Okay.
One team won one, the other team won the other.
The astounding losing streak finally ended for both of them. Lehman College and Yeshiva University split a doubleheader that ended streaks of futility for both Division III schools. In the opening game, the Lehman Lightning... Jewish Lightning? Come on, man. Come on.
What? Why is that a problem?
You know what? Have you heard of Jewish Lightning? Do you know what that is?
I don't know what that is.
That's like when you burn a building down for the insurance money.
Okay, well,
It's called Jewish Lightning.
it's like Grease Lightning.
Yeah. In the opening game, the Lehman Lightning ended a 42-game losing skid when they beat the Yeshiva Maccabees.
Yeshiva Max, I bought one of their t-shirts.
Dude, they're very Jewish. It's very Jewish.
I bought one of their t-shirts. I got a Yeshiva shirt.
I tell you what, they may not be good at baseball, but every penny at the concession stand is accounted for. They beat the Yeshiva Maccabees in extra innings 7-6. Yeshiva, a modern Orthodox Jewish school in New York, then ended a 100-game losing streak by beating Lehman, located in the Bronx, in the second game 9-5. The Maccabees celebrated on the field at Fairleigh Dickinson in Teaneck, New Jersey, where the team plays home games. Yeshiva at last won February 27, 2022 in a doubleheader sweep over John Jay. Lehman's last victory had come May 9, 2023, a 7-4 win against Baruch College. Justin Chamorro, who pitched a complete game for Lehman in the opener, said ending the losing streak was crucially important for the Lightning. I
Mhm.
felt a tremendous relief after when everything ended. Hamuro told USA Today Sports, "It's what we needed for our morale." Despite falling behind by 4 runs after 2 innings, Hamuro said he remained determined. This is a man. This is a real underdog story where there's no chance of anything actually good happening.
What?
It's-
What do you
well,
mean?
it's just it's a funny it's funny in that just it's just like if they win, they finally won a game after like losing 100.
Yeah.
So it is like it's a true underdog story in that that still leads to nowhere.
Yeah, they beat the second worst team, you know.
Yeah, it doesn't. They just get to feel good that they finally won a game, and yes, this is like the Jewish baseball teams. That's the actual money ball. That is yes. I was thinking the same thing.
But
Why? But wait. Why do you? First off, why do you? Why did you watch this?
yeah, I tuned into it, but they didn't have like commentary or anything like that because I had to go to their website and watch it.
And you bought merch.
I bought a shirt, yeah.
Did you have money on this or something? Like what?
No, dude, it's D3. There's no like they don't have. There's nothing on it.
You could. I guarantee you could
I
bet
bought,
on that.
dude. Why would you not buy a shirt of the worst baseball team in American baseball?
This is college, right?
Right.
Okay.
So I bought a shirt because I thought it was funny.
It is. It's actually kind of charming that you are like watching. You're like, what's the word I'm looking for? Invested in. You're not invested in any actual financial institute. You're not invested in actual Jewish money, but you are invested in Jewish baseball.
I love Jewish baseball.
And I guess you have a 401k, so yeah, you do have some Jew money.
I love Jewish baseball. But second off, they lost 100 straight games and then finally won one. You
And they
know?
won it, and each team won against each other. Like
Yeah.
what?
So they broke. Yeah, they both.
So Yeshiva beat Lehman, or Lehman beat Yeshiva, and then Yeshiva beat Lehman.
Yeah. Yep. It's almost like they did it to help each other. You know?
Yeah, it's the two worst teams came together to kind of lift each other up.
Yep. So good
I
for 'em.
do. This is kind of an inspiring sports story where it's like honestly nothing to lose, and also nothing to gain.
You don't think they gained any money from that?
No, I don't know. I don't
Dude,
know how.
I sent Robbie the schedule and the address and everything so he could go to the game. I was like, Robbie, you're the only person I know that's so close. You have to go to this game.
To the For the two worst baseball teams in college.
Yeah, I was like, Robbie, please go to the game.
All right.
I don't think he did, but
Yeah, I doubt it.
yeah. I was like, I need boots on the ground here.
I didn't even see this $5 from Robbie's third cousin, Kick Josephus. No, Josephus is cool. Thank you for the money though. I don't know when he sent that.
But can you get Robbie in here?
Probably not. No.
All right. Well, I was trying to get Robbie to go to the game because I was like, at least I know somebody that went to the game, you know?
Yeah.
Because had I been as close as Robbie was, I was gonna go to that game.
I had a Jimmy John's today.
What'd you get?
Gargantuan.
What does that entail?
It's just their sandwich with like all the meats on it.
Yeah.
So it's like an
Pause.
$11. Yeah,
Pause.
8 pause. It's the best sandwich at Jimmy John's though. It's like an $11 sandwich, but it's really good. I like Jimmy John's.
It's a good sandwich. They used to have one down there on Fry Street. You get drunk, you go over there and get one.
Yeah, I used to do that a lot. I would get drunk and go to the Jimmy John's there on Fry Street and eat a. I would usually get the gargantuan there as well. I was so drunk there one night, I ordered a sandwich and ate it, and then I went back to the counter to try and close my tab.
Oh, at the sandwich restaurant?
Yeah, I was like, "Hey man, do you still have my card?" And he said, "This is a Jimmy John's, not a bar." And I was like, "Okay, cool. I need to close my tab." He was like, "No, you've already paid for your sandwich."
Is it when we were doing stand up at that little garage restaurant or no, the bar?
Maybe. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, there was that.
It was a bar, but we had to do stand up in the garage.
Yeah, there was like a bar that also had like a stage outside where you were fenced. There was like a chain link fence where you would face the audience and then your back was to the street. And for some reason, we were doing stand up shows there when you really should only do music at that kind of venue.
That could have been a tight place to do stand up if they did it right.
There was just so many places that we were trying, like the stand ups were trying to have stand up shows where they really shouldn't have been.
What did we do? We did weird shows, man.
Yeah, I feel like we were like a lot of the stand up comedians or people trying to be stand ups and didn't were just really upsetting everybody.
Yeah.
That town is like a lot of those places people are like musicians or doing like some sort of performance art, that's like not stand up, And then like all these comedians would come in and be like, "Yeah, hey, can we do a stand up show here?"
Yeah.
And it's like, it's like a restaurant or like some kind of like place where people go to, congregate. It's like a polite society, And
Yeah.
then you just have all these people like working out there like disgusting, vile jokes on these stages or like wherever.
Yeah.
And it was just like upsetting everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody was pissed off.
Yeah.
And then the restaurant didn't make any money, and I would always just feel bad. I'd be like, I can't believe you let us do this.
Yeah. Yeah. I never really like felt like I was supposed to be doing stand up in a place until we did that theater.
That theater was cool. Yeah, that was like
tight. It was like it felt like people were there to see us, and
Yeah, Taylor put that together, and that was a really fun. That was a cool show.
Yeah. So.
And then
that's where you're supposed to do comedy. Or
a lot of those places, a lot of those places that we were like forcing ourselves into to do stand up. Yeah, we really shouldn't have been there.
I mean, it at times worked, So.
The basement there, Abbey Underground, that was nice, and then that might have been it. That might have been the only place where that was appropriate.
I got a clip of me at. I'll probably put it in the.
Oh, nice! New premium member for the YouTube channel, Robbie's third cousin. Thank you. Let's get some more super chats going.
Yeah. So I got a pretty good clip of me doing stand up at Rubber Gloves, and that was like a rock and roll club,
That place was cool. Yeah, that was a good. I liked it.
Still, they didn't have chairs for people to sit. Like
that's like a legit music venue though. Like there's like actual pretty respectable bands that will book shows there.
At Rubber Gloves?
Mm-hmm. The Melvins were just there.
Oh, were they? Mm-hmm. But I got a good clip of me doing stand up there. So
yeah, that was.
My favorite thing is I rewatched it the other day because I was thinking about posting on the Discord, and I could hear you laughing in the background. I was like, all right.
That one lady who worked there, that roller derby lady with the red head, the red dreads.
Yeah.
She had been there since like the 90s. So she had booked like.
Yeah.
She had some cool stories because she would book like all these bands that went on to become like pretty famous.
Yeah, but then like when she started trying to do stand up, and she's not a comic, so
I always liked her. I always thought she was really nice.
She's fine, but she was like boys with JT and stuff.
Yeah, JT, the punk altercation comedy.
How's he doing?
I don't know. I saw him when I went to Skankfest South, and so from what I heard, I guess he was up. Somebody was upset with me. I don't, because what had happened is like the year that I had moved to the big city, to the Windy City, New York.
JT was mad at you?
Well, that year I'd sent in a tape to him, and he had booked me for that whatever that fucking altercation
Oh,
punk festival.
Yeah.
And I had no way to make it. I was like, man, I was in some group chat for the festival, and I just like sent a message where I was like, hey, I just have like no way to get to Austin for this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't make it. And then Mishka, who I think is a pedophile,
Oh my!
allegedly,
Do
Mishka,
I gotta stop listening to his music?
maybe I don't know. I shouldn't say that. But I've heard some things.
Okay.
But Mishka like just started. I started getting like paragraphs of fucking messages from him about how he stuck his neck out for me, and he was the reason that I got booked for that, and then I like by bailing out the way I did, I made him look bad, and he was just like laying into me about this fucking thing, and then apparently he like I guess like JT was upset about it. I don't know, but then when I saw JT at Skankfest, he was like cordial with me.
Dude,
Because JT had made it to the big time. He's opening for Eddie Pepitone on the road. At that point, maybe he doesn't care anymore.
big time, JT.
Yeah,
Yeah, I got you.
and so I mean, he was cordial with me. But then something else happened. I can't remember. There was another thing that happened.
Hold on. Who at that festival would be upset? Oh, Dalton Pruitt's not here.
I didn't really. Honestly, it's also far in the past now. At this point, it's like who gives a shit. But it was like when Mishka was like chewing me out about that, I was like, well, I submitted the tape and I paid the submission fee, so I gave JT like $15. It's like,
yeah, you lost.
like whatever vouch, like whatever you did to vouch for me, I appreciate it. But I did pay for that submission, and like I'm the reason. I don't understand. Like if I bow out, it's like, well, he still got my money.
Yeah,
like I don't understand like why this is like bad for you in any way. But I don't know. He was just like.
Do any of your fans know who Mishka Shabali is?
They might. I don't know. I don't want to.
If they're like stand-up fans, they might. But yeah,
I don't want to badmouth them too much. I've heard whispers of maybe some bad activity on Mishka's part, so I don't really talk to him anymore. But he was always like really. There was a lot of times he was really nice to me and said a lot of good things, and there were other times he was a fucking raging dick to me. But we were never terribly close. And then I gotta be honest with you. It's like that expression, your network is your net worth, right?
Yeah.
The company you keep. Dude, it's like him and so many of these fucking other people are just committed to being miserable fucking assholes.
Dude.
And they're dragging themselves down, and they drag down fucking everybody around them. And it's like, I don't communicate with any of these fucking people anymore because it's like, I'm trying to actually become upwardly mobile and succeed, and I don't want to like wallow around in whatever this like this misery that you guys are fucking romanticizing because you can't handle the fact that you're not allowed to drink anymore.
Well, the only clout those boys had is they were friends with Doug Stanhope.
Right, and by the way, the last time I talked to Mishka, he was being such a little pussy, like a little titty baby, because like I guess Stanhope didn't want to work with him anymore, or they weren't like Stanhope wasn't booking him to open for him anymore.
Yeah,
and he was just like saying all these all these nasty things about how Stanhope isn't the guy he says he is, and I'm like, I don't know, man. I feel like most people found you, and because of Stanhope, that a lot of your success can be attributed to the fact that
100% is because he was on Stan.
Yeah, it's like I'm sorry that he doesn't want to keep you around as like his permanent sidekick or whatever.
Did
But
he also called him out on that too, right?
I think I don't know what that's what I'm saying. Dude, it's like when you do comedy or any I guess like any sort of like creative endeavor when you're trying to like do something when you're trying to become a professional 1099, independent contractor. Yeah, you find yourself a part of these communities, like these groups of people, and then like come to find out, it's just like so many of these fucking people are just committed to being miserable, unsuccessful fucking assholes, and it's like, I mean,
Flores syndrome.
yeah, best to you, best regards, Saloon Buen Fortuna. I'm not interested in wallowing in my own fucking misery as though that somehow counts as like artistic integrity or whatever. Fucking Josh has always been like that. Like I always thought Josh was really funny and talented, but he's like so committed to being a fucking sad sack miserable jackass that I don't even know what he like. I think he just is like working like phone customer service now.
Mm-hmm.
Like I don't think he's like doing stand up or doing much anymore.
Did you ever think Josh would actually be a like successful stand up?
I thought Josh had a lot of potential and probably still does, and he just needed to figure out some way to deal with the fact that he has a doppelganger. He just had
the same name, yeah.
There's the same name, same kind of like skinny, nerdy black guy.
Yeah.
But I always thought like Fort Worth Josh was like funnier and had more to say. Like I thought he had like a more interesting perspective. He just was like, I guess like one of these guys. It's the kind of guy you see a lot, and I've been this guy before who's just like, it seems like committed to just getting in his own way. And there were so many guys like that. I mean, fucking, I know he's dead now, but I mean, I always felt like Clint was like that. Like Clint was just like had this thing where he seemed like what he wanted more than anything was just to be angry.
Yeah.
And
wanted fame. He wouldn't be doing stand up if he didn't want fame.
That's what I'm saying. Like people need to be fucking honest about like what they actually want, what their intentions are. It's like, yeah, you want to be an artist. You also want to live on easy street. You want to get successful, make a lot of money doing it, and just live a comfortable life. You got to be fucking honest with yourself about that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, so what do you want? Like, you want to be a fucking struggling, starving artist forever? Because guess what? What'll end up happening is you'll develop nothing but resentment, and then you'll just end up not doing this anymore. And then you'll work a shitty job forever. And then that's it. You know what I mean? Like at a certain point, you have to admit, like, I do want to play ball. I don't want to have to show the W-2s. I want to show the 1099s.
Want to show the 1099?
Show the 1099s. Yeah,
but,
man.
Bro, I mean, like all those guys, like they always act like they don't want it, but anytime something landed in their lap, like they get to open.
They want it more than anything, but they also desperately want everyone to think they're cool. And so they create this like paradoxical fucking behavior, like this character for themselves where it's like, I can't ever let anyone know how much I actually want to succeed. So I have to be like this bitter, angry artist, but also I desperately want all of these opportunities I'm not getting.
They do want that, but they also want to be like, I never wanted it, and I finally got it. If it does happen,
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not saying, like, I guess, like, do I want to be on fucking Kill Tony? Not necessarily. I can admit, I guess I can be honest and say, like, I don't know if that's even something that would help me in any way. So I don't know if I want that, but
it would help you.
Maybe it would. Maybe I do desperately want to be on Kill Tony. I should put my name in the bucket.
No. It would help you if you were like a host, like a guest on it.
I guess it's just like, honestly, clocking in for a job, like a job you don't enjoy, is just so much worse than whatever you think is like beneath you
Yeah.
creatively. Like all these things in entertainment, these things where you go, well, I don't even want that anyway. It's like, yeah, I bet you want that more than your fucking bullshit job.
Yeah.
I'm sure you would prefer I'm sure you would prefer to, go on the Joe Rogan experience for a couple hours than having to have to fucking clock in for some shitty job every day.
Yeah. I mean, it's probably like a selfish thing to say, but like, I was like, Dalton's already on a podcast. That dude's laying up in bed. I'm gonna make him do a podcast. I'm gonna be in it. You know, I'm gonna do the podcast with him.
Well, you found me at a vulnerable. You got me at a vulnerable time because I was recovering from
I
like
didn't
the.
honestly. I did not care about me being. I told Sal. I said,
No, you actually were just being a really good friend, and I actually was like,
"Stop."
I was bummed when you, I guess, you weren't allowed to do the show anymore.
But I also told Sal, I was like, "You two do the podcast," and you're like, "Nah." Y'all wanted me to be on it or whatever, but I was like, "Nah, I wouldn't even be good on it." So
Well, the people love you, dude.
they love me now. Took them some
Yeah,
time.
yeah. It's like the people love just like regular ass dudes, dude. Just like guys.
Yeah,
You're drunk. You're sitting in your Ford.
Fiesta.
Did Kevin save Dalton? Yeah, to a degree. Yeah, after everything happened with
Uh,
me, Kevin, like, uh, yeah. I mean, Kevin came through and like just kept pestering me. Well, no, I guess not. That's the wrong
I
word.
don't
I
really
guess it's like Kevin.
the
I don't
whole.
want to. I don't want to like reveal too much or get too much into my personal shit.
But
But I
yeah,
mean, yeah, you like kept maintaining contact with me and just like stuck by me when I was like not in any position. Like I just wasn't able to like. I didn't want to answer any phone calls, and I really was like struggling to communicate with anybody at that time.
yeah,
Like you remember some of those conversations where I just like could barely speak.
yeah. You weren't saying a word.
Yeah, and then I guess like as I started to recover from that, you yeah, you were talking about like maybe doing a podcast and then you like scheduled something and I just kind of was like, yeah, I guess. And then the day that we were supposed to do it, I did like bring myself in front of the computer and we recorded it and it is on this it's still on this channel. So
Yeah, it's a Cornfed episode 0.
episode 0, yeah. So yeah, I mean, I suppose I do I can attribute me still being here.
All right. Well,
Some of it to Kevin, yeah.
yeah. But
Kevin
all
is, Kevin is the founder of Cornfed, yeah.
no, you're whatever I'm not arguing for it, but you know.
Well, I mean, I'll just say that like no matter what, like anytime you want to like be on the show, like it is available to you.
Yeah, I'm on it right now. So
Yeah.
hello.
I'm here. Your face is for oh, you're here.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, I've had people tell me people are spoiled. I think by podcasts where people are in the same room together, but they don't realize that those shows actually suck. And this is the best. This is the best podcast. They just deceived by the fact that it's like the format, but this is actually the best show.
why are
This
people spoiled?
do what?
Why are people spoiled?
I know. I think people are just like spoiled by these highfalutin shows with all this production, where two people are sitting at a table and they're in the room together and they got the $1,000 microphones.
Yeah,
They don't realize, and I think it's just like deceptive because the format of this show is so minimal, and it's like we're doing like a conference call basically. That people just haven't realized that like this is better than all of those shows. This and the Crowder Boys are the two best podcasts going right now.
why don't we could set that up where we could actually do like a me, you, Sal in a room doing a podcast. We used to do it.
We did a couple episodes.
They
Yeah,
don't
we did
know
do
about
that.
that.
Yeah. But yeah, years ago we like recorded something in a room together.
And like, I mean, because we were still in Dallas, but like people listened to it. We had like probably 100 listens or views or whatever.
Yeah. Raphael makes a good point that yeah, all those fucking shows like that, those like fancy podcast shows, is the set design is crazy. There's like so much fucking shit in the room, and it was making me laugh the other day because somebody told me I needed to like watch a clip from one of the shows that Devin Costa does, and I guess he's like doing a bit making fun of those shows because there was just like so much shit on the table that was like podcast stuff, like Liquid Death and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he was like making fun of all those shows because I don't think he's sponsored by any of those things.
Yeah.
But yeah, all those like big podcasts, they just have like all this fucking shit in the room that is, I guess, is like shit they're trying to sell also.
Mm-hmm.
Which you know what? I can't wait for that. I can't wait to have a show where I just have like a table cluttered with a bunch of fucking bullshit that you got to go to a website and put a promo code in for.
Dalton, I mean, we're like have some integrity here.
Yeah. Well, I'm only gonna sell the best kratom for sure.
Okay.
I'm not gonna sell low quality kratom.
Can I talk about kratom real quick?
Yeah, go ahead.
I swear to God, I've done heroin. I'm six. Like August 12th, I'll be 6 years sober from heroin. I did kratom for the last maybe like 2 months. That was the same fucking withdrawals as heroin. Exactly the same. I'm not playing you.
What a ringing endorsement for kratom, dude.
I swear to God. I literally got through my kratom withdrawals. I hugged my wife and I cried. I was like, I'm glad I'm still here with you.
Dude, I had a similar experience. I hugged your wife. No, when I quit kratom, because I was using it heavy years ago, and I did the same thing. Like I just sweated through a mattress for several days.
Mm-hmm.
The day that I woke up for the first time, like where I wasn't like in physical pain, where it felt like I had finally like broken the fever of withdrawals,
Mm-hmm.
I just started crying. Just, I'm so thank you that this is over.
Yeah, I thought I was dying.
Because it's like, well, yeah, because it's also like this psychological war you're in, where you're in just like you're in a lot of pain and you're shitting your brains out. You got diarrhea. Did you have diarrhea?
No.
You didn't have. Oh yeah, I was like, because like when the opioids like that, like plug you up. So like,
Oh yeah, so you're getting rid of everything that.
because when I quit it, I just had like crazy diarrhea. I was shitting. I was in like everything was. I had all these like body aches, and I just was in a lot of. It felt like I wanted to peel off all of my skin. I was just like so miserable.
Yeah.
And then it sucks because it's like you know exactly what you can do to alleviate all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Is just take a little bit of kratom. Just do a little bit of kratom.
Like a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and all this goes away.
Right.
And then and then the clock starts back over on quitting. So it's like you have to.
You only have to take like a small amount, though. Yeah.
Yeah, but then a small amount. You know, I used to do a little, but the little wouldn't do it, so the little got more and more. Yeah, it turns out you start doing fucking Mr. Brownstone, man, with kratom and
I hate that fucking band so bad.
But yeah. So you have to like force yourself to just like deal with like how painful it is.
Mm-hmm.
And it's days. It takes days.
Did you literally cry when you?
I did, yeah. Because I was like, because there had been so many stops and starts where it was like I would quit and I'd last like a day or two and then just couldn't handle it and I would start taking spoonfuls of kratom again. And so it had been this like ongoing thing where I was like, I have to stop using this shit because I'm like, I don't even know like how it's affecting me health wise, like my physical health. But being this reliant on it, I don't want to keep doing this.
Yeah, I do not know how that shit's legal.
Yeah, and I remember like after months and months of trying of like stopping and starting, just finally like using up all this PTO at work. So I was like, I'm gonna take like 5 days to just not go anywhere. And then I did just like sweat through a mattress for like 5 days. And then like the day I woke up feeling like kind of normal, like the day where I was like, oh, I'm not like aching everywhere and I don't have diarrhea and I don't like desire, I'm not craving it. I started crying. I was like, oh, it's a brand new day.
I made it through. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
That happens, folks.
I was taking like probably an ounce a day. Someone's asking how many grams. So probably like 25 to 30 grams a day. And that's why if you are going to start doing kratom and then you find yourself upping the dosage more and more to that point, a $60 kilo actually does come in handy at that point.
Just don't fucking do kratom. Don't do it. Don't start.
I don't really understand how it's legal.
Unless you just like desire to have that comeback story of like, I'm back, you know?
I would say the only like the main positive I can think of for it, like why it's kind of like how it can be good, I guess, is harm reduction, where it's like if you're addicted to oxys or fucking heroin or something,
Yeah.
doing kratom instead of that, I guess, is better. But if you're not on anything, like if you're not already addicted to some kind of opioid, I would not recommend trying kratom.
No, there's no reason to do it.
Yeah, just drink like soda. You
Or
know,
take a pill, you know?
have you a nice ice cold soda.
Bro, yeah, fuck that shit, man.
I do love soda, dude. I
What's your
usually
favorite grade?
What's my favorite soda? Would you ask me?
What's your favorite Gatorade?
My favorite Gatorade is Seafoam Green.
Still?
Limon Pepino, the lime cucumber.
How often are you buying that though?
I hardly ever get it. If I can't find, I guess like because that's like a shiny Pokemon for Gatorade.
Yeah.
My favorite of the regular flavors is yellow.
Okay, so not your favorite, but the one that you buy the most often is yellow.
Yellow.
Yellow zero?
No.
Just regular.
I so seldom drink Gatorade that when I do buy it, I'll go for a fully leaded Gatorade yellow.
Boy, that's more than I could do. I always go for zero.
Yeah, because like everything else I drink is either water or zero sodas.
What'd you say? Water?
Water, yeah.
How do you normally say water?
Water.
Say it how you normally say it though.
Water.
Order.
Water.
No, water.
Okay, well anyway, yeah, I'm usually drinking either mostly tap water.
Yeah.
And anything, if I'm drinking bottled water, it's like mineral water, so like a Topo Chico or a Mineragua, Saratoga, something like that.
That's good.
Yeah, and then like other than that, I drink coffee every day, and then I'm drinking like a lot of Coke Zero.
Yep.
But then once in a blue, I'll go get a Gatorade, and I've never enjoyed the taste of a Gatorade Zero. Not in the way that I can enjoy a Coke Zero. So when I get a Gatorade, I'll get like a full sugar Gatorade yellow.
All right. You off drugs completely? You've not done
I'm off of everything except like nicotine vapes.
But you don't do drugs at all?
I don't do any like hard drugs. No,
No boozing either?
no booze. No.
Damn, dude. I couldn't imagine that.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, congratulations, but you haven't boozed, like, sober how long now?
Probably like 3 years.
3 years sober, huh?
Yeah.
Because you was drinking back in the day, man.
I did drink a lot. Yeah.
This one time, me and Dalton were at we were doing karaoke, and he kept doing shots of tequila. And
Oh man, one time I went to Andy's, and Andy's was also like in Denton. Andy's was known as like a pricier bar than the other ones.
Andy,
You know.
I guess, yeah.
Well, like because the bars on Fry Street, which were like for the new 21-year-olds, like the college kids who lived close to campus or
Yeah.
on campus, those bars were like they
Yeah.
would do like 50-cent wells.
Yeah, they were cheap. Yeah.
They were very cheap. And then like if you went to the
I got my
square,
DWI.
yeah, and then if you went to the square, like where Andy's was, if you go to like Andy's was like pricier in that it was dollar wells.
Well, they also had like, all right, yeah, you're right.
But I really always thought Andy's was like a better, like one of the better bars, because like the live entertainment there and the people that would, it was just like I mean, at this point in my life, I would never go back to any of those fucking places.
No, I go to Applebee's.
I'd go to Buffalo Wild Wings.
I really would.
Yeah. But at that time, yeah, when you're in your, like, 'cause I was in my 20s, it was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Andy's where all the fucking scary girls with like septum piercings and purple hair and
that you'll eventually get into an argument with for some reason.
Yeah. But I remember I went there one night and they had dollar wells, and I got out of there only spending like $20, and I had drank 18 shots of tequila.
No shit, huh?
Dude, I can't believe they even let me do that. Like, by the end of the night, I was closing my tab and I was looking at the receipt and I was like, damn, I've had 18 of these? And then, and that was, I had that, by the way, that was when I had that boot on my foot, when I fucked up my foot and I had that.
Twinkie foot.
Yeah, it sounded like I was like, I had a Twinkie still in the plastic rustling around in my foot.
Around with the Twinkie in your foot.
Yeah, it had the Twinkie foot. And so I drank 18 shots of tequila that night and then just like walked home in that boot. Do what?
You walked home in your boot?
I walked home in the boot, yeah, and just passed out, yeah. Surprisingly, I did not black out that night. Like I remember all of it, and I remember like looking at that receipt and just like having kind of a realization like, man, I might be drinking too much.
Did you not buy it? Like, it wasn't one of those just where like you paid for a few other people or something?
No, I didn't pay for anybody else. I was just there by myself. I don't even know what I was doing there.
How the fuck you got home that night, man? You know, you could have called me. I'd have picked you up too.
Yeah, I can't really remember. I don't really remember. This is so long ago. I don't even remember what I was doing. I used to just like go to those bars and just hope and pray that like somebody would talk to me and that like a girl would end up giving me kisses. And it never happened. I just would end up drinking by myself and then like being too scared to talk to anybody and then leaving.
Can you tell the story about the time you did stand up in like Aubrey or Pilot Point?
Kevin, that's the show, everybody. That's the show.
No.
I don't even want to think about that. I don't ever want to talk about that. I don't even want to know that about that story. That sucked. That was a really embarrassing thing I did.
You were doing stand up at like some bar in like a redneck.
Man, I'm telling you, dude. This sucks.
I mean, you don't have to tell the story, Dalton. I was just asking about it.
Oh, I've not told. I never want to tell anybody about that.
I mean, I don't really. All I know is I don't even know the story, so all I know is that I had to come pick you up.
You did. I did need you. to come get me.
Yeah, me and my pregnant girlfriend.
That was one of 2 times I. Yeah, I feel bad about that.
I don't really feel bad about it, man. It's like we wanted to make sure you were safe. So
Yeah. Well, I feel like
why are you so embarrassed about that? I don't
it
even.
was because it was just like I guess like thinking back on it, I was too old to be behaving that way at that time. I was just like,
Dalton, you were like 28. No, you were like
no,
20.
I was younger than that.
Yeah, you were like 25. No, you were like 24.
I'm
You were
just
a
trying
kid.
to. All right, man. I don't even know. So what happened? I guess what happened because I've made it too much of a thing now, so I guess I have to like mention it. I have to
You were
say
a
it.
kid, bro.
We did the somebody had booked a stand up show at some roadhouse bar that was like 20 minutes outside of Denton,
Yeah.
where we were living at the time. It was that little town, Aubrey or Argyle or something, whatever that town was.
Yeah, I think it was Aubrey.
And so I went there and I did stand up there, and there was this like really pretty like Filipino nurse that was or vet tech or something. She was some. It was like a really pretty woman wearing scrubs, and I remember she also had braces, which was cool.
Yeah.
But she was she was in her 20s also. And after my set, she was kind of tipsy, and so she was being sweet on me because she thought I was funny,
Oh.
and we were flirting. And then like as
Hold
she
on.
gets,
Hold on. You had a good set, right?
I had a good set.
All right.
I did. I made people laugh, and she liked me. And so she was being sweet on me, and we were like getting, just getting kind of handsy at the bar. Like we were holding hands and flirting and all that. And then she's like, "Oh, I gotta go. I gotta work in the morning." And she stands up and like gives me a big old kiss. I like it when girls give me kisses.
You love kisses.
I love it when I get hugs and kisses. So she gave me a kiss, and she said, "I gotta work in the morning," but she said, let's hang out again." And I was like, "Oh yeah, like when? What do you want to do?" And she said, "Just meet me back here at this bar, like on whatever day it was, And I said, "All right, cool." And then, but I got none of her contact information. I had no way to like, I didn't get her phone number or Facebook or nothing. And so then just like just hoping that she would remember this, that this was actually something that was in the books. The night came that I was supposed to meet her there. And so like I put some pomade in my hair and combed it nice and put on my best button down shirt and starched jeans and took it. And I knew I was going to be drinking, so I took an Uber to the bar. 20 minutes to the bar, Uber. I get there, and she never showed up. I'm like just sitting there waiting, just looking all pathetic. And this is like a roadhouse bar where it's just like all the people that are like the usual clientele, like a lot of people there are like in their 40s and 50s. And it's like married couples or divorced women.
Yeah.
Like this Filipino vet tech or whatever was kind of an anomaly that night.
Yeah.
And so she never shows up. And then I just ended up like, I think I just ended up asking one lady, some woman in her 40s, like, "Can I buy you a drink?" And she said, "I'm married." And I was like, "All right, I gotta call Kevin." Because I looked, there was no Ubers that were going to come back out there.
Right.
So I had to call you, and then you and your pregnant girlfriend at the time drove all the way out there to come pick me up. And I just felt so fucking pathetic.
Now, can I tell you also, I guess because you'd done stand up already there, so like people knew you. And so I picked you up and I put you in the car and stuff. And they asked me who I was. Like, they were like, "Who are you? Who's this guy taking Dalton away?" I was like, "I'm his fucking roommate."
I'm trying to think, because you know what? I think the people at the bar didn't end up liking me because it was karaoke night.
Yeah.
So I just was like doing karaoke by myself.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
the people.
Dalton, you were so fucked up, and they were so concerned about who you were riding with.
Yeah, because I think it was like, because it was like older people, like they saw this like boy get his heart broken and then just do solo karaoke that they had developed like some parental instincts where they were like, we just want to make sure he's okay.
Yeah, they literally, like, because I picked you up and they're like, "Who are you? We want to make sure he's doing good, okay?"
Yeah.
Like, I'm his roommate, dude. We're taking him home. And they're like, "All right, we'll let you go with him then."
Yeah. But that, I don't know. I look back on that and I just like, that's one of those moments at that time. It just felt, I felt so fucking stupid at that time. Like, I felt so humiliated by that. Because
There's no,
then,
dude. They loved you there.
yeah, they did. You know what? I do remember the people at the bar did like me. And then that fucking lady, the actual woman I was like there to meet, she, I guess like word had gotten back to her from the people there.
Yeah,
Like somebody was there that knew her and told her that had happened. And so I ended up getting a message from her on Facebook where she was like, she did that hot girl thing where she apologized, but it was like in a really shitty way, and I guess just to make herself feel better. It was what she ended up saying. Like what she sent to me was worse than if I just never heard from her again.
yeah.
Yeah, because like she said, "Oh, I'm sorry. My friend actually reached out to me and told me that you were there." And then she sent me a screenshot of the conversation she had had with her friend, where some lady had told her about this, and then she responded to that lady and said, "Oh, that Dalton guy? Oh, I feel bad. He's so little and nice."
Yeah.
And I remember,
Little nice guy.
yeah, seeing the words "little" and "nice," that actually sent me into a spiral. I was like, dude, I went fucking nuts. I was like, yo, fuck you.
Yeah.
Go back to the Philippines. I can't wait till we deport you and your entire fucking jungle family.
That's why we voted for Trump, bro.
That's why we voted for Trump.
But listen, here. Somebody called you little. You've never been called little in your life, dude.
That was crazy, dude. I guess because she might be taller than me, but I'm certainly wider than her, yes.
Dalton, you're not short either. You're like
I'm not. No, I'm like 5'10". Yeah, I guess I'm not little. No, I don't know what she meant by that.
little and nice.
Yeah, and I can be nice, but I have a dark side. I've also been told I'm a fucking asshole.
Oh, dude, you're like the Joker.
I am. Yeah, I'm twisted, dude.
You're twisted, bro.
Yeah, I got told by Lauren many times like what an actual fucking piece of shit I really am.
You are a piece of shit, though.
Yeah. Yeah, because I remember there was like so many times I would get fucking paragraphs of text or emails from Lauren letting me know like how I'm actually bad.
Yeah.
And then after a while, I just was like, man, I don't even think we should. I don't know if this is like a good friendship. Even I don't even know if we should be friends anymore. And then now we're not.
I mean, that happens in friendships. I mean, you said shit like really fucking bad shit about me. I've said bad shit about you.
Yeah,
So it's like it happens, you know.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, we were young. Like we were in our 20s when.
Oh, yeah, we were gonna definitely talk shit about each other.
Yeah, because we were like, I'm still to this day not in a good place, but I'm more mature.
Yeah.
But yeah, at that time we were both like immature and also not doing well.
No.
And you were actually trying to be responsible because you had a kid on the way.
Yeah.
So you were like you were actually making the effort to get out of like being a degenerate.
Right.
But I just was like, well, I don't think I don't see myself having a kid for many, many more years. So I'm not changing anything about myself.
Yeah.
And then it just created some tension.
No, I never had that tension towards you. But I always just like, to me, I always felt stupid around you, and then like you would say like, yeah, Kevin's stupid or whatever. It's like, okay, yeah, I believe that. Like,
Yeah, I shouldn't have, because you know what? I shouldn't have said that. That's mean.
well, it's like,
But I also always felt like insecure because like I was doing all the book learning, like I was in college or whatever. But I always thought like I would see you and be like, well, Kevin's actually behaving the way a man should. Like he's smarter in that way. It's like, yeah, I mean, I'm like studying books. I'm also never gonna be able to fucking pay this shit off. Like when I graduate, the rest of my life is just going to be logging into some fucking website and giving some fucking company $300 every month.
Yeah, that's why I was like, no, I mean, I never thought about it that way, but I was always like, yeah, Dalton thinks I'm stupid because I'm not smart. I was like, all right, well, I mean, whatever the fuck, I don't care. Like, I got shit to do. I don't have time to worry about this, you know?
That's such a funny sentence. He thinks I'm stupid because I'm not smart.
I mean, I'm smart.
Hey, just because I'm not smart don't mean I'm stupid.
I mean, I'm smart in some ways. Like, get me sober and talk to me. I'm not retarded. So.
Dude, Kevin, the fact that you've had the same job for over a decade and have like worked your way up and are like stable and secure and have like a stash of money put away, that puts you so far above like everyone I know.
I get that. I get it. But dude, you were also boys with like those comics that were real smart too that aren't doing shit anymore.
By the way, yeah, I don't keep in touch with any of those fucking people.
I get that. I get it. But they thought they were the fucking shit. They're not doing goddamn dick no more.
Yeah, I don't keep in touch with any of them, and those were also people like what I was talking about earlier, where they just like look down their fucking nose at everything, and were just like more, yeah, and they were just like more miserable than anything else, and I was like, well, ain't none of y'all fucking more talented than anybody. Like, you're not doing anything that I would think is like worth anyone buying a ticket for, because it's like as much as they would condemn a lot of those road dogs that would come through Hyenas.
Yeah.
At least those guys understood their audience, like understood how to work that room. And so by the end of the night, that audience had bought a bunch of fucking $8 Bud Lights and $20 chicken strips.
Yeah.
And the club was happy with the performance.
Yeah.
If any one of those fucking guys ever got booked to do like a 40-minute set, it would just like make everyone kind of feel uncomfortable, and then nobody would buy any drinks. So it's like I don't know, like as much as you can look at like these road guys and call them a hack, it's like that 40 minutes they've been doing for the last couple decades, it sells $20 baskets of chicken fingers, that's for sure.
Yeah, I mean, like, you can't do anything about it. Why are you bitching about it, you know?
Yeah, I don't know. But I don't fucking keep in touch with any of those people at this point.
I know.
I don't think they ever respected me. I think they always did kind of look down on me.
Dude, they hated me. They liked you. And they were like, you got to get away from Kevin. I was like, for what, dude? I'm not doing shit.
I've always had people in my ear telling me what I should and shouldn't do. And I guess it's really not like now that I've like burnt my life to the ground, it's really nice that like nobody does that to me anymore. I just get to do whatever I want at this point, and no one really talks to me.
Yeah. The reason I got pissed off about it is like, because I was already done doing comedy at the time.
Right.
So I'll pop up every once in a while because I enjoy doing it. And they're like, oh, Kevin, no, you got to get away from him. I was like, dude, I don't even fucking really do this shit. I have a family. Like, I pop up to enjoy it. And Dalton's my friend, you know?
Yeah. It's, life.
It's so weird how
life is life, you know?
What's the chat saying?
Crack says, Kevin! 3 exclamation points.
I love you. Cracking.
Yeah, life is I think it was Sheryl Crow that said every day is a winding road. Was that her? Hold on.
John Mayer said your body's a wonderland.
John Mayer did say your body's a wonderland. Yeah, he did. You know what? That's also true.
He did say that.
When you really get to go explore someone's body, it's like, wow, what a wonderland this is. And my favorite ride is the vagina. at
No,
this.
I like the micro penis on you.
Oh yeah, here we go. Here we go.
What? What
Here we
is?
go, Kevin. This kind of sums up what we're talking about.
I forgot what we're talking about.
Just just sit back and enjoy. Oh yeah, I just want to bounce off what Crack is saying here. I think I get what he's going for. It would be Cheryl Jim Crow. I think is what he's trying to say.
Cheryl Jim Crow?
What?
He said Cheryl Jim Crow?
He said Cheryl Crow laws. Yeah, to I guess punch up that joke. I would just say Cheryl Jim Crow.
Cheryl Jim Crow? Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Yep.
She was born.
Ooh, I like that. Cheryl Crowder voice. What's up, Kevin?
Do we have to listen to the whole song?
No, we don't. I guess we're just that's just what we were talking about. Every day's a winding road. Life is a highway, and your body is a wonderland.
Hey, you know what I'd love to do? Is like see like the full Crowderboy podcast, like you, Robbie, Crack, and then like maybe Sal, and then bring on one of those old like douchebag fucking like Grant Redmond or something.
Somebody nobody knows.
Yeah, well, just like one of those guys that are like that stuck their nose up in the air
I
and thought they
but
were better.
hold on. I don't. Grant was always actually pretty cool.
All right, so like Christian maybe or something.
No, Grant and Christian I always thought they were decent guys. Those were good dudes. Yeah, those are good guys.
Christian hated me.
I think Christian probably did. I don't know if he liked you, yeah, but I always thought they were like pretty down to earth and like just good, funny dudes and like.
All right, well, all right. So pick like a
Gr-
guy that thought that like a I don't know, somebody that
Right, yeah, Ryan Perio, sure, man.
like somebody that thought they were better than everybody, and just bring them in and let them deal with like the racist live chat. You
Well,
know,
my chat, like our chats are pretty cool. Like, there's not like
I know. I'm saying like deal with like the real podcasting experience.
yeah, but we don't. Yeah, well, I try not to harbor any bad vibes or negative energy. I don't invite the trolls. I don't feed off
Well,
that kind of thing.
I would say bring in like one of those old Dallas guys that thought they were the shit. It and like watch them be uncomfortable.
I guess I don't really want to humiliate or exploit anybody in that way.
I know you don't want to, but I think it. And the only person that would enjoy it would be me, so that would be like selfish for me to ask for it. So
Yeah, I was just gonna say that you know, as much as I've heard that song in commercials over the years, that I actually still kind of enjoy that Sheryl Crow song we were just listening to.
did
That's
you
pretty good.
really?
Yeah, it's a pretty good song.
I don't know. It sounds like overproduced, you know.
Yeah, I mean, it just takes. I guess it does take me back to my youth. Like I was like a certain age when that came out,
Yeah.
but it also I do find it was like more bubbly and upbeat and enjoyable than like a lot of the pop music now. You
Uh,
know, like I would take that as much as I love Brat. I actually enjoy that more than Brat for sure.
I'm still pretty pissed off about you recommending watching that Better Man movie. Robbie Williams.
Dude, that no man, that movie's awesome. You got to finish it.
I guess, but I got pretty pissed off at it. So
You got to. First off because you told me you didn't like, which it's supposed to make him be an asshole. Him saying this, that he said that his song was better than that All Saints song. Secondly,
Saints is so good.
I didn't even know who they were watching that. You know that band?
Dude, All Saints? Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
Never
some
ever.
British shit I've never heard of.
Dude, no.
The only thing that's ever referenced in that movie from that time that I am familiar with is the Spice Girls. Everything else, I'm just like, oh, this is just like some British shit that I never knew about.
All Saints never ever.
Yeah, I have no clue what that is. I know that in the movie he says that his song is better than that. Which by the way, you're supposed to hate him for that. Like you turn the movie off, but you were feeling the right emotions. He's supposed to be an asshole in that scene in that moment.
Right. But also
You took it he's a chip, by the way. It's a computer generated chimpanzee. So it's like I think you're the sort of like emotional attachment you're feeling to All Saints. I guess you're in the right place, but the fact that you like got so upset that you turned off the movie, it's like, well, you do know that those lines are being spoken by a cartoon monkey.
Also, I did not turn off the movie. I walked away from the movie.
You walked away from it. You really should watch it. It's really good, especially when you get to the climax where it's the big show that Robbie Williams does at Nebworth. The like huge fucking 100,000 people concert he does. The way they do that in the movie is like a really cool. It's like a really cool scene that I haven't really seen many people talk about, but it's like really well done.
All right. But I did not turn off the movie. Finished watching it. I walked away. All Saints is not obscure as you're talking about.
I have no clue what I have no clue what they are. I don't know
Right.
about that band.
I
I'll just say I really enjoyed the movie, and like by the end of it, like the final like denouement, like the end of the movie, I was getting kind of choked up.
All right. My mother.
I was getting choked up watching this cartoon monkey finally resolve his issues with his dad.
My mother and my aunt listened to All Saints and tortured me with that song. I heard it day after day after day when I was in second grade. So that was a big song here, man.
It was a big song in the UK.
No, that song was big in the United States.
Yeah. This guy, Urjo in the chat knows exactly what I'm talking about. Yeah, that sequence where it's the big, like, 125,000 people concert at Nebworth, which you can go watch the actual concert on YouTube, where he's wearing, like, a sleeveless suit. Like, he's got, like a little suit vest on and tie, and he's no sleeves.
Is that the scene where he goes, Your Ass Is Mine or whatever?
Yes, yeah. Because it starts as like a concert, and he's doing that song, "Let Me Entertain You," but then it goes like it where it goes from there. It goes into like his inner struggle with himself, and it plays out.
What?
It's a
Still on Robbie Williams' dick.
it's a really cool movie, and no one and yeah, like a lot of people in the States don't know who he is. He was never like well known here. He was never famous here. So it's like when it came out, people were just like, I don't even know this guy well enough to care that they're doing like a movie where he's a monkey. This is just like a weird thing that's happening. The movie's fucking good, and it makes you start to feel emotional about a cartoon monkey who's like having these struggles in his like relationships with his friends and family and lovers and all that. That by the end of the movie, when he's finally like, reconnected with his dad, and you're watching this like cartoon monkey start to cry. I was starting to cry. I was like, oh, fine. I'm glad they worked things out.
Yeah. Yeah. Him and the cartoon monkey.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got you. Alright, I'll give it another shot.
You should watch it. That scene that we're talking about where he does the "Let Me Entertain You" song, like what ends up like where it goes from there is he's doing the concert, but then it goes into this like all these scenes in the movie have been building up to this point where
Or something like the whole time.
do what?
He's on drugs and shit.
No, all the scenes in the movie where he's performing leading up to this point. He'll be singing a song, and then you see the inner turmoil that's happening where he sees himself in the audience telling himself that he fucking sucks.
Mm-hmm.
So as he's putting on a show, you're seeing is like another monkey in the audience being like, fuck you, Robbie Williams, you fucking suck at singing. And then that eventually leads to the climax of the movie where he's doing the concert for like 100,000 people. And he's singing a big Robbie Williams hit called "Let Me Entertain You," and then it becomes him doing battle with all these versions of himself. Mm-hmm. So it turns into like monkeys fighting each other with swords. It's awesome.
I like Angels.
Angels is good. That's a good song.
Yeah.
What I knew of it, the reason I knew who he was. When the movie came out was like when I was a kid, and I've talked about this. That song "Rock DJ" had that music video where he rips all of his skin off. Yeah. They aired it on MTV a couple times, and I remember watching it when I was really young. Do what?
I never saw it.
It came and went, but I remember it aired on MTV a couple times, and I caught it one day. And then I just started, because it came, I was like 6 or 7 at the time. Right. So I was like watching this music video, and then it just turns into this like really scary thing that's happening. And I remember just like crying and like running I started crying, and I ran to my mom, and I was like, why would he do that? Why would someone do that to themselves? And she was like, oh, it's not real. It's just a music video on MTV.
Yeah, but something you would do.
Yeah, because I was a gay little bitch. It was scary. It scared me.
Huh?
It was scary.
Why?
Oh, you know what? That's a good point. Actually, I was 17 at the time.
Yeah.
I was I started crying, and I got to go hug my mommy. I was like, "Mommy, is dinner ready?"
Shit, man. How many folks we got in the chat?
Do what?
How many folks we got in the chat?
I mean, there's a lot of people active in the chat, and there's 42 people I'm showing tuned in live right now. So it's good. It's going well. I mean, I was thinking about probably like ending this like now.
Yeah, keep it going. There's a lot of people here.
It's been going for quite some time. I'm kind of wanting, the first rule of show business is leave them wanting more. And I'm going to be back tomorrow on the Crowder Boys on the youtube.com/@thecrowderboys live at 7 p.m. Eastern every Wednesday. We'll be live tomorrow, Wednesday, April 9th. 7 p.m. Eastern on the Crowder Boys channel. YouTube.com/@thecrowderboys, Patreon.com/thecrowderboys, and the Patreon for this channel is Patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. $5 gets you all the premium episodes of bonus content. And I do a lot on there. I play around on this Patreon. You'll get premium episodes of me and Sal. You'll get solo episodes with just me. You'll get all the, cool things I'm doing there. And then, if you subscribe to the $25 tier, you get the Fraternal Order of Cornfed decal after 3 months. So it's $75 effectively for the decal. But once you get the decal, send me a picture that you got it, and then you could just be on the show. You can hang out with me and Sal and do an episode with us. Or whatever you want to do, but just get the decal, And that's patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. Kevin, did you have any closing thoughts?
So it's 50% off on the get to be.
It's not 50% off on the decal. It's not 50% off on the decal.
It used to be $50.
It's $25 a month. After 3 months, Patreon will ship you the decal. At that point, feel free to downgrade your subscription if you want, or keep it. Keep paying me $25 a month, whatever you want to do. And that's Patreon. Hold on. Patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt is the one for this channel. Patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. Kim Gladley has the decal. Chris Elliott has the decal. Michael Hall has the decal. I think maybe there's one other person. There's 3 or 4.
So, yeah, I mean.
Oh, Kim Gladley, yeah, is the 4th one. So there's 4 of you.
I was gonna do a Q&A with the boys if they want to. Give them my phone number.
Okay, hey, I'll give everyone in the chat your phone number.
Do not do that.
I'm gonna post it in the chat.
I don't know.
No, that's the show, everybody. And
yeah, if you want to do a Q&A, just holler at me.
Pandatron, I mean, if you want to subscribe to the $25 tier, go for it. But honestly, you and I have more of a business relationship, so you could just keep doing the Patreon with me. When I reach out to you.
No, do not subscribe.
Yeah, if you already are part of the show, pretty much. I just need to schedule a Patreon episode with you. But that's patreon.com/cornfed with Dalton Pruitt. Patreon.com/crowderboys. YouTube.com/@thecrowderboys.
Good night, Dalton.
Good night, Kevin. This has been Cornfed. Sal was absent, but he'll be back. Thank you all. Love you. Please be safe. Have a good night. I love you.
Bye.